Welcome on in. Good Meridian. Everybody. Just got finished watching a couple of fantastic streams. I think the very last one here was DeFi Kingdoms birthday and dual raffle winners. So everyone who participated in some summons or some where we had the birthday cake, I think this is what part of that was, as well as some of the duels that had been going on for a while, which maybe is one reason that we should be getting more involved in duels. I think they're going to continue to give away or do giveaways for duels on an ongoing basis. That was something that was said, I think, in the last AMA. Let me adjust this microphone here real quick. There we go. I think that should be better. And then just need to adjust my headset a little bit more. There we go, I think. All right. Just got finished with my lunch as well, so all is good. So the next thing, or I think the first thing that I want to show y'all is the dual raffle entry stuff. Let's go ahead and pull this off here and share this link with y'all. That should be the link to the spreadsheet where apparently there was a couple, and I missed maybe the first minute or two of the stream. Talked about not eligible for Gen 0s and greater pack raffles. Maybe this was because they had won something else, or maybe it was some other thing going on. Apparently, if you are one of these addresses, I think you still did win something, but just not eligible for these raffles right here. So we have these addresses right here that are winning these prizes. So Gen 0s going out to addresses 99C7, 0E75, F754 as the first couple of values there. And I don't think, let me check my sheet again here. I'm pretty sure that none of these are my account, but I do want to double check again. Let's see. Definitely not 99 or 0E and 57 or F754. I don't think that's one. No. All right. Then there were some other things. So that would have been, of course, a relegate prize for some things there. If we were to get one of those. Gen 0s. Some other things here is a greater stone pack, greater crystal packs, regular stone packs with these IDs, regular crystal packs, lesser stone, lesser crystal packs, then a bunch of stamina potions. 50 stamina potions is actually pretty decent. I think I'm having to go through 400 stamina potions to get my Gen 0 up to speed. Speaking of which, let's hop over there and take care of her right now. So over to DFK3 account and refresh this. I'm pretty sure. See, I'm manually doing this at the moment. Maybe this is one of those times when I should get one of those bots that deal with stamina potions as well. Most of my others are already on bots, but this one I'm doing a little bit differently. So looking at the heroes that I've got here, Galena's already at 27, so we should be able to get her back out on a quest, going gold mining, start, select that hero, and send her out. All right. We're going to go ahead and set our alarm on the phone for 5 hours and 10 minutes. Start. And that way we can be notified when she's done. 5 hours, 10 minutes is going to be 7:40 my time, somewhere right around in there, which is about the same time it was yesterday. All right, so let's get back to the good stuff here. Let's see. So we've got 50 stamina potions, egg packs for 5 eggs. And I think these last two things here were for the duels, which unfortunately I didn't take part in. But I guess if for some reason I didn't know that there was giveaways for that. Otherwise I probably would have paid attention quite a bit more to duels. But thanks to Romario Raven for getting me started with duels in this morning's stream on Twitch, then I think we are underway and ready to go from this point on. I definitely want to be more involved in duels. It seems kind of fun, and certainly want to be showing other people how to get involved with that as well. So again, I dropped the link into chat. If you want to check to see if your address, or any of your addresses, I guess, some people might have more than one account, go ahead and, oops, where we go? There we are. To take a look at that. All right. I'm going to put that back on the back burner for a moment. And then, of course, earlier, so that was the last stream. And then, of course, 30 minutes earlier, I guess for the last hour even, so I guess it started 2 hours ago, was Crypto Grady. Crypto Grady had a nice stream with Frisky Fox. If y'all haven't seen that, then that's definitely something else to check out. Let's see. I'm sure that anybody watching me is already subscribed to Crypto Grady, but if not, let me go ahead and drop this link into the chat there as well. And of course, if we check out videos and all videos, then we should see this Frisky Fox video right there. And I still need to catch up with this raffle winners for Corey here and the Gen0 that they were doing. Looks like that's only 34 minutes. Maybe I can catch up on that tonight. And some of these that it doesn't look like I've viewed before, I have, but out there in the living room, probably under my partner's account. So I might need to show some love here as well. We'll do that a little bit later, where I can get these things started, and we'll click on the likes and all that kind of stuff for there. But definitely want to get into these. What I usually do,
the number one question,
what I usually do is if I've already seen these, or if I'm trying to give some positive feedback, is start up the video. And sometimes I'll even start up 2 or 3 or 4 videos at once. I always come over here to playback speed, and I do a 2x on the playback speed. It's still amazingly understandable.
Really good. Baby Cup Fight Club tournament. Awesome stream last night. It was live. Need to watch it with me.
Right. And then go ahead and do a like, and then I'll have these sitting. Now, one thing I also do generally is I keep them on very low volume, and I put on some headphone, or I have it on the headphones, apparently because YouTube and maybe some other algorithms might keep track of the fact that it was muted, and then maybe not count those things as well. So I usually make sure to have at least a little bit of volume. But if I've already seen it, like I said, on the account in the living room, then I will put the headphones on this computer and walk off and do other things while the videos are playing. And then that way, when they come back, it's already liked and gives a little boost to all the other streamers. So that's what I do with anyone else who streams as well. Intergrove, Sergeant Filthy McNasty, and all those other kind of things too, to just show a little bit of love right there for that, right? So I'm going to pause this right now. But after the stream, I'll go ahead and play through the rest of it and let these play through. Nobel, welcome on in. How are you doing? We are about to do our giveaway for today, or one of our giveaways. We've got 3 giveaways or 3 raffles or drawings that we're going to be doing here as well. And I think if we get over here to giveaways, anyone who's chatted within the last 15 minutes, let's go ahead and crank that up. We're going to give additional bonus to subscribers a little bit here as well. And the question that I have is going to be, how are we going to get this set up with YouTube? Let's see if I can. Nightbot, let's just check out Nightbot, Twitch, and can it be set up for YouTube as well? Nightbot is a chatbot for Twitch and YouTube. Okay, very good. Does Nightbot work with YouTube? Your Stream Simplified Nightbot is a chatbot for Twitch, YouTube. Okay, awesome. I think that answers my question. How do you link YouTube Nightbot to Twitch? There's a video, 14-minute. I don't think I'm going to watch that on stream. How do I set Nightbot up on YouTube? Let's check that. Oh, another 3. Oh, well, this one's only 3 minutes, guys. So let's see if we can quickly watch through this and see if I can do this here. How does that sound? Because we definitely want to be doing a Nightbot setup. So let's see what they have to say here.
Nightbot into your YouTube live stream chat.
Yay!
To start, you're going to go to nightbot.tv and you're going to click sign up and log in with your YouTube account. From here, you're going to allow it. And then once you're in your dashboard, you're going to join the channel. You're going to open the community settings tab. Then you're going to take the link here. You're going to copy
Maybe
it.
I shouldn't be sharing that link too.
Into the moderators. You're going to click enter. And then you're going to hit Nightbot. You're going to save those settings. And then you're going to need to go live. Nightbot only joins streams that are live.
Gotcha.
Every time you go live, Nightbot will take up to 5 minutes to appear in your chat. So please bear with it as it will be detected. In the meantime, we can go ahead and set up some basic commands so that Nightbot has something to answer to once we're ready. So, for example, we can do a Discord command. So if somebody is in the chat and wants to join your Discord, we can do that. So we can make the command !Discord.
That's what we need to do too.
And then here is where you can put the Discord invite link. In this case, it's going to be discord.gg/nightdev. And if you do join this Discord, if you are having any trouble, it'll invite you to our community Discord where you can get any kind of support that you need.
All right, tell you what, let's pause that for just a minute and let's see if we can do something similar to that. So now what I want to do is, can I add, let's maybe sign out of this and then log in with YouTube. And we've got the Rock 808 account right there. And let's see, view and manage your assets. Manage your YouTube account. Make sure you trust it. Yep. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I've already forgotten what we want to do next. Go into community. Was that it? Let's see here. Scroll back a little
You're
bit.
going to open the community.
Choose
From
your
here, You're
account.
going to allow it.
Allow.
And then once you're in your dashboard, you're going to join the channel.
Join channel.
You're going to open.
And then community. Let's see if I've done that here. Join channel. Oops. Let's do let's pull that off for just a minute. Join channel. And then let's see, it's just my normal YouTube channel. Under community settings for YouTube, moderators, paste that, save, and then I think that's going to be all we need to do. Let's check this again here.
In the community settings tab, then you're going to take the link here, you're going to copy it, and then you're going to paste it into the moderators. You're going to click enter, and then you're going to hit Nightbot.
So that didn't quite work like I thought. So I've got that link. Community settings. So I think it's there. Looks like it might be there.
You're going to save those settings, and then you're going to need to go live. Nightbot only joins
I'm already
streams
live.
that are live. Every time you go live, Nightbot will take up to 5 minutes to appear in your chat. So
That's
please
fine.
bear with it as it will be detected. In the meantime, we can go ahead and set up some basic commands.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let me hop over to Nightbot again. So here, let's pull this over. Or actually, I guess we'll keep it on the other screen, but we'll walk through some of this. So let's see, he's going into commands.
Nightbot has something to answer to once we're ready.
Yeah.
So for example, we can do
Add a command. Let's add a command Discord, right? Discord.
a Discord command. So if somebody is in the chat and wants to join your Discord, they can do that. So we can make the command !Discord. And then here is where you can put the Discord invite link.
All right.
In this case, it's going to be discord.gg.
Let's go ahead and check out Darlantis, which is where I've got this Discord link right there, most easily handy. So we're going to go ahead and Rock 808, Darlantis, Discord. Submit. All right, so now can we do a ! Discord? Maybe not.
/nightdev. And if you do join this Discord, if you are having any trouble, it'll invite you to our community Discord where you can get any kind of support that you need. Next, we can adjust the user level so we can allow different people to
we might have to give
the commands
Nobel a special moderator
in this case, I will
command
allow
here.
everyone to use this command, and the command can be executed every 5 seconds if somebody wanted to. And then we're going to submit it. Now that we have our first command, we can go ahead and create timers. What timers do is they allow you to remind people in the chat to make sure that they are subscribed or make sure to like the live stream or whatever you prefer. So we can go ahead and add a timer. We'll call it reminder.
Reminders.
So we'll say every 15 minutes we can have that execute, and after every 2 chat lines. All right, so we can submit the timer reminder. So all in the meantime, we've been live. We've been live for about 2 minutes. So we can go ahead and try to see if Nightbot is in the chat now. So we can go ahead and execute our command that we did earlier. And see if Nightbot has joined the channel yet. If not, like I said, it could take up to 5 minutes. All right, and that actually only took a little bit shy of 3 minutes for Nightbot to join the stream. But once it did see that I typed that Discord command, it responded. You can also do song requests and do auto DJ with the chat. And you can look at the default commands that are automatically on, and you can turn them on or off if you'd like. From here, you can also adjust spam protection. So if you don't want people to be able to spam capitalization or links or symbols, or you can blacklist words and phrases, you can do all of that from this tab. And that is the basics on how to get Nightbot into your YouTube live stream.
Awesome. That seems pretty easy. Let's see if we can make that happen though. You Rock Live started. Yes, the live is here. Yeah, just watching a little bit of video there. 9A7A, welcome on in. We're working to get Nightbot set up for some of these giveaways here. Let me check the YouTube channel. And, oops, where are we? Look at another screen here for YouTube channels. Let's just check. Yes, we are live. Channels. Let's just check. And let's also look at participants. See who's here. Looks like Nobel popped in for a brief moment, but Nobel, you're not showing up on the participants now. I wonder if there's a timeout, because I'm pretty sure Nobel is still lurking here in the background, but might not have said anything recently, and maybe that's why he's not showing up on the participants. Now let's see. Miss extra emotes and stuff on Twitch. I wonder if we can get those type of things here on the YouTube stream. Because, yeah, it would be good. Yep, Nobel's definitely in the lurk mode. I figured as much. So, as I'm looking at this other little screen right here, we can see who the participants are. And, Nobel, you weren't showing up there for a little bit. I figured you were here, but it's interesting that non-active participants that are not active get removed from that after some amount of time. I'm a little surprised that YouTube doesn't have the ability to tell that you're still watching, even if you're not chatting. Because certainly YouTube definitely knows who is watching a video, right? So it's very interesting. Yeah, we need a lurk command too, don't we? So let's give ourselves a lurk command. Commands, custom. What should the lurk command do or say, do you think? Lurk. So All right, let's see if I've got a funny little lurk thing for us. I don't think it's gonna work. Let me try that. I don't think Nightbot is here with us right now to be able to respond to that. So I got to figure out what is going on here. But as soon as we can get Nightbot working, we are going to be doing a giveaway. So hopefully that's going to be soon. Tell me if the audio gets worse here. I'm going to turn on this fan. Using lurk command results in ZZZZZ. That is something that I thought about also. So this next thing is the thing that I put in so far. We might change it to that. But what I've got in there so far is a little bit more quirky, perhaps. So let's get rid of that window. All right. So what can we do here? Dashboard. Join that channel. Man. I did the wrong thing. Let's see. We need. I've got a couple of different accounts, and it's hard for me to tell. Let's do Rock 808 with the game account there. Allow. The Flickr is back. The Flickr is back right at this moment. 9A7A? Really? Yeah, let's get out of that. Tell me if the Flickr is up for this thing here. Oh, it's gone now. I'm wondering if it has to do with me being on a different window. And for some reason, the graphics card is doing weird things when I'm looking at a different window. When we're talking about it was going nuts. Yeah. If it happens again, 9A7A, just let me know. And we'll try to figure out exactly when it's happening. So we want Nightbot to join this channel. And I need to put in this address. Let's go to community settings. Maybe Nightbot's already in here. Save. Community, let's see, channel. I've got some basic info. I've got Darlantis, game, DFK, DeFi Kingdoms, Sandbox, NFT gaming, crypto, play to earn. As some things, as some keywords for us. This channel is not made for kids. All right, I think everything's good there. Let's also go into Nightbot here, the dashboard, and look at commands. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna have to add the commands in here again. So let's add a lurk command. as background music. Okay. Being a little silly with that. Let's add another command of Discord. And back over here, let's grab that link again. 987A, Nobel, did y'all ever log into Darlantis, the 2D MMORPG that we had up at some point? Did y'all ever get a chance? The graphical image of it's, of course, back here in the background with this stuff over here. Did y'all ever get to log in with that at all or play around? Submit that as well. Let's see. Looked at the website, never quite got to log in. Yeah, no worries. I do want to get back to that at some point. It's obviously a much lower priority right now. It is, if you like that kind of 2D game, then it is kind of interesting. Maybe I'll bring it up very briefly here. If we go to one of my older videos for, let's say, view all, way back over here. Let's see what we're doing. Starting a new character. We're not going to, of course, watch the whole video here by any stretch of the imagination.
Evolve and grow stronger by eating flesh of their defeated foes. So
we don't really need to even listen to it here. So it talks about different character types that you could be. It's kind of like a D&D type of game, if you're familiar with that. So there's a website that had the different races and classes, and so I spent a little bit of time talking about that. Ultimately, you get dropped into a 2D game here with a little so I guess we could do something like this. Little 2D game with your inventory items, your text windows of what's happening in the game, your stats. You have different skills: alchemy, clawing, finding traps, bargaining, lock picking, making bows or bowyer, evocation, karate, and so on. And of course, this is my little apartment, I guess, that has a bunch of items on the floor that I could go and play through and do all that kind of stuff. And then there are shops that you can go. So this is the magic shop. So you can go and buy things in the magic shop. And then, let's see. And then we're just playing around, attacking the little creatures.
Using clawing skills, and you can see I'm barely even scraping him at all. I don't see his stat bar going down, but ours definitely came down quite a bit. So we had to flee. I was standing right on the stairs. So
and so on.
Looks like you're about heading out. Have a good evening.
Anyway, don't want to focus on that a lot, but it's kind of interesting if you like that kind of thing. We're not going to get into it right now. So let's see if we can do a !Discord right now and see if Nightbot is going to respond to us. Still no? Oh, there we go. It just took a little bit of time. But there we have our Nightbot. Awesome. So we should also be able to do !lurk. So y'all can see that one as well. I don't know. Let me know if we should change it back to just some ZZZs. I was trying to be a little bit more funny. So still here. We're working on something else in the background with Rock 808 background music. However, Nightbot is saying that, so I wonder if I can change the name of it. Like if I can use a special character or set of characters. Let's see if I can look at defaults.
I sometimes like to save the chests for last because they might explode. But I'm going to come over here and I'm going to search this chest right now.
Let's see, !winner chooses a winner. Oh, a chat winner. Let's check this out. !winner. What's that going to do for us? And the winner is 9A7A. Wait, 978 is not subscribed to this channel. What? 987A? You don't have to. But I think it is free here on YouTube to subscribe, right? I can't imagine that you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel. We're just practicing around with that anyway. I was wondering what exclamation mark winner would do. Says you're subscribed. Interesting. Nice GGs. Yeah, I would have thought you were subscribed, 987A. It's interesting that this is saying you're not subscribed here. Unless they have an alternate meaning to the word subscribe. Oh, that's true. I wonder if there is a different word, because you know, on YouTube, the paid subscription is called join, isn't it? If you say, and I don't think I've got a thing that allows me to, let's see, there's like one of the channels that I watch every now and then. Let's check out Crypto Stash for a second here. Oh yeah, see, here's join. Membership. You can access exclusive perks when you purchase the membership, and that's with the join button rather than subscribe. But I don't think that's what they mean here, because they would use the word joined rather than subscribe, I think. And that is not what I mean. I'm not intending for y'all to get a paid subscription for that. We'll have to look into that a little bit later. Yeah, don't have a join button. I don't think I'm qualified to provide a join button at this point. I guess because I'm such a little baby streamer still, on YouTube at least, that I haven't, done the things I need to do for that. Let's see, we can also edit our stream tags. Users in chat have the ability to do song requests, which maybe we'll do something with song requests later, maybe, I don't really know. Regulars allows moderators to manage channel regulars. That's interesting. Regulars. How do we do that? 97A says if they meant subscribed, if by subscribed they meant mentally present, perhaps I am unsubscribed. Oh, absolutely right. Let's see. Nightbot is saying invalid parameter specified, possibly parameters add delete. Oh, interesting. How could I list regulars?
And we can do a few things. We can unlock the cauldron, drop that, so we're not carrying that 80 kilograms worth of weight anymore. We can also, we might want to keep some things, like maybe the talisman of sorcery. We might have a need for that.
We can create a stream marker. If we do an exclamation mark, we can do a poll. Allows you to make a poll, which I've done in the past. I'm going to need to re-familiarize myself with some of this stuff. Okay. But in the meantime, one of the main things that I wanted to do here is I wanted to do a giveaway. Let's just do a test here first. Let me pull this thing back over to the main page here. All right, so active users, go ahead and type just hi or something into the channel. I see that y'all have typed recently as well. I'm a little surprised that y'all's names aren't showing up here, hi or something. Yeah, why aren't you showing up here?
Switch over to my buyer character, so we'll hop in the bed, and then we will choose our buyer character and play that. And even though
active users.
All my money that I have here, we're not carrying any money right now. So when I come over here and I pick up this money, all of this money that we pick up will be from the character that we have. So
I think maybe something still isn't quite set up properly.
I've got this character right here. He's Buyer the Elf, and he is an elf that is a priest.
Maybe that's part of the issue. Oh, there you both are. 97A and Nobel. Okay. All right. So maybe it just took a little bit of extra time. 97A says irregular. Yeah. Oh, and it's be interesting to know who the regulars are as well. So if I turn off mods, then Nobel would probably or Nobel might not be a moderator here with us right now. This is YouTube.
Because I don't generally play this buyer character for very long, I was hoping to find a potion of spell point regeneration there. But if not, that's fine.
I'm gonna need to figure out how to specify mods
and back up into here. Stepping on this library card now and pressing E, notice that here it's only going to cost
for
you 1
YouTube.
right? And for those of you that are saying, hey, that's cheating.
What happens if I come over here and just click on your
The money
names,
that we have right here, the 3 types of coins, are only the coins that our new character
or over here,
we're not going to
this little
character has, and this is a character that you could have by spinning
little button?
new character yourself, a priest, an elf, putting all your points
If I
in charisma,
expand that,
and that's what I would strongly recommend for you.
if I click it up here,
Quite a bit of platinum. I think it was 230 or 220 platinum or something. The library card now 81. Very affordable.
interesting.
I'll go ahead and buy that item then.
I don't really know what that's doing.
Pick up the library card, and that key right there lets us get into some of the parts that I've talked about before. But even this guy, it's going to cost 272 platinum. It only
Yeah, Nobel, you've been stripped of your titles here on YouTube.
paid for it, and then we go ahead and walk out.
I might have to give
Remember all the coins that this.
I might have to give 9A7A a mod button also.
That will drop the library card.
9A7A has been hanging out with us quite a bit lately as well.
Now we have a library card. Now we probably want to lock into. In fact, what I'm going to do, I don't know if this is going to work, but can I put that library card in the SAT? And just because it's in my inventory.
Nobel, I don't mean to pull you away from your lurk mode. Do you remember if we did something special for you to become moderator? Did we have to, or not have to, but did we run that by the community and have to take a vote on that? Or did I just knight you a moderator out of the blue?
Notice that we're not getting experience for every single thing because some of these books might be more advanced than we can deal with, right? But
And you might not remember. I don't think I remember.
and unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be a lot at the moment.
Or mod, mod equal. Yeah, maybe there's something.
But both examining and applying these are going to be helpful. And remember, we had about 6,100, so now we've doubled our literacy experience.
Oh, man.
Super quick. We are into our level 6, getting up there.
Look at what's going on here.
All good stuff. We should be reading this as well if you are actually real.
Here we have irregular, and I've got irregular
Would get us into this door right here, but we don't care about those extra few books.
here. Oh, for some reason that froze for a minute.
So that's
There we
a
go.
new experience for us. 108 hit points now.
I'm noticing that this little chat window right here takes another couple of seconds
32 more minutes,
before it shows up over here, I guess.
5 minutes, and so on. So maybe in
I just need,
to some of these other shops and arenas and so on.
I just needed
There's the
to take a knee and you hit me with the sword. Absolutely. Yep. I think that's,
In the meantime, we now have
I think that's how that happened.
hit points and something else that we could do if we wanted to experiment with our
Excalibur. Yeah, I might have to show you the Excalibur also, 9A7A.
We've got
If I can figure out
experience
sometime a little bit later how to get set up
here. Let's kind of ready our summoning spell. It automatically wears that talisman for us, and we'll enter,
on YouTube.
get that ready and fire this
So
ball.
the next thing that I want to do is figure out how to
To be taking these guys out. We're not frying the room this way. And experience up to 17,
do a giveaway.
It's really easy 'cause
So
everyone has to
that's the plan. I think I could just say winner,
bring it back
right?
somewhat, and then fire him down the hall again a little bit more.
And just choose somebody, but I don't necessarily like, I'm not sure how that does a selection. I think I'd rather have Nightbot do something here.
It's faster by using our claws or our
So
weapons.
let's,
That's not the point.
now that we see both of y'all are here,
This map is
I guess we can say roll it
narrow, and that really makes it very nice so we're not getting attacked while our golem that does
and just get the roll there.
and take out these monsters.
And then we could roll it again. Yeah.
That's a little bit more of the reason that we would do this here. It's like
What happens if I roll it again?
another one.
No eligible users. Okay. All right.
If they're running too far away,
So guys, it looks like it's going to be y'all too. If there's anybody else in chat, now's the time to say hello. Otherwise, we are going to roll this thing right here and choose a winner of who wins the next little giveaway. I was hoping to do this a little closer to 2:45, but looks like it took us a few minutes to get here.
and with our woodsman. And we can now finally see down this hall a little bit more.
Wait, what just happened? Oh, 987. I was only testing the giveaways.
Now it looks like our guy is gone, so
I was testing out the giveaways, and I was just rolling for everybody.
Protect us a little bit more. Not that we need protecting, but it does save our food.
So nothing really happened. Step away and we all win. No, it was just me testing. But we are about to do a giveaway here in just a moment. So, Nobel, if you want to at least say hi again, I'm sorry to pull you away yet one more time. But we'll get your name up here in the list, and then we will do a giveaway. In a way, I hate to do a giveaway when there's only 2 of y'all. Nobel hasn't won yet. That is also kind of amazing. Nobel, even with greater chance for your membership, at least over there on Twitch, you still didn't get it. That was kind of strange. 97A says, give it to Nobel. All right, we're gonna have to do a roll, but rig the giveaway. Let's hope that it lands on Nobel here finally. So yeah. Although Nobel, I bet you have a decent number of those raffle tickets, the Rock 808 reward tickets. I'm gonna guess you do. And I'm wondering if we do want to offer those for something to purchase with channel points as well. Anyway, let's roll this and let's see who gets it. I'm glad that y'all are 2 of the people that are here. Y'all are hanging out with me the most. And so it's good to, you got 17 of them? Yeah, we're going to do something with those 17 that you've already got. So absolutely. I think we'll put those to good use. All right, roll it. Roll it, roll it. There it goes. Nobel did win. Oh, congratulations. Awesome. Very good. So, Nobel, I think you're someone who likes to give me the wallet address in private. So go ahead and shoot me a message on Twitch, I guess, or Discord. Either one is fine. And we will send another one of these things over to you. I'm gonna have to have a way to more quickly and easily manage that. Although one thing I've noticed here today, at least, is that we don't seem to be having the same issues sending NFTs like we did 6 or 9 months ago, right? Remember, there was a bunch of problems oftentimes where we would have to try and try again and try again. Let's go ahead and pull this off to another window over here. And let's see. Oops. Let's click on here. There's Nobel. All right, Nobel. Gonna get you all set up as well. And let me switch over. Oops, what do I got? It's not really what I wanted to be watching. Let's get back over to here. And let's switch over my MetaMask to Sandbox account on Polygon. And then we can do the transfer.
And let's see if we can bust open these doors. I'm going to search this a little bit longer, and then I'm going to try to bust through these doors.
Transfer. Off and away. Oh, only 1 penny this time.
Yeah, I'm not losing too many hit points at the moment. And then we can get out of here, fire a golem up there.
Rock 808, play to earn reward ticket. Transfer complete. All right. So there you go, Nobel. I think you probably have 18 or so now, right?
I'm at a place where I can escape back to the door if I need to. Some of these creatures,
all right, let's get back over here to some DeFi Kingdoms and talk about that. Romario Raven was with us this morning and was showing us duels. Should we go and play around with duels a little bit right now, or should we look at a little something different?
only last a certain amount of time, and they only have a certain amount of power and strength. So zombie corpses are something else. So we want to look at our Woodsman 495, and we're going to see if we can get anything off of that, which we didn't. The zombie corpses
And 987, I think you might have had another suggestion earlier this morning that if you did, I had forgotten what it was. Don't forget the rate. Don't forget to rate the investments. Yes. Yes. And maybe that's something that we should spend some time doing first, perhaps. I have a feeling duels can wait a little bit. And there's not a lot of people here that are interested in super fun content like duels, then maybe we can talk about some of the rates for investments. And 987, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, what we were really interested in was determining whether it was gardeners, either buying gardeners or invest or recompounding in the pool. Is that what we were looking at? My brain is just not what it used to be as far as memorization. Looking at the 4 choices. Oh, yes. So on Discord, I think we were looking at the 808 family stuff right here, and we talked about this. For our daily crystal gains, what should we be doing with our daily crystal gains? We can either put it into the jeweler, which is currently going to give us some X crystal. We could convert that X jewel, or we could convert that crystal into X jewel for voting power and DFK rewards and a small bit of APR. We could recompound that into crystal ETH, and we could convert that jewel, or we could convert it into jewel in expectation of the upcoming C jewel and S jewel, and be ready to jump in on those when the new pools open up ASAP, right? So which ones of these might provide a little bit higher rate? And so 987A, let me answer a couple of those questions right now. Let's see, you're asking what is their potential for profit and what is their speed? Could also add risk maybe. You know, that is maybe something I do want to keep a note of on this other spreadsheet here, or another bit of information so I can just copy and paste it when we might need it. But here's the idea. For A, put it into the jeweler, which is currently X crystal. We could talk about this right now if we wanted. But one of the things that I am a little, maybe concerned is not the right word, but one of the things that we need to consider is, do we want to spend a lot of time talking about this? Because I would say within about 2 weeks, X crystal is going to go away, right? We're not going to have X crystal anymore. We want to, or we will, the game is going to get rid of X crystal, and the jeweler will be this new C jewel, S jewel jeweler that you are only putting jewel into this jeweler, right? To the jeweler 2.0. 97A says, would make an interesting chart as well. You could add risk, profit in jeweler locked for a year. No, no, it's not. So the jeweler, the interesting thing about the jeweler is you can add money and take out money as often and as quickly as you want, right? So if we just come into the jeweler right here, click on that, then we can easily and quickly deposit and withdraw. And what happens here is whenever we deposit a certain amount of crystal, let's say that we're going to deposit 10 crystal, for example, then it means that we're going to get about 6.349 X crystal as we're depositing 10 crystal. And the rate of that, so I'll go ahead and deposit this right now. And so the rate of this
And we'll send a guy down south. Finish off these rats down here.
is at the rate of 1.575 crystal gives us 1 X crystal. And so we should see here in a moment that we should have, since I put in 10 crystal,
All right, let's check out what's going on down here.
let's clear this out. 10 crystal divided by 1.575 should be this 6.349, and that is what we end up with, right? So what happens in the jeweler, if y'all weren't too familiar with this, and it took me and Mr. Winning, by the way, I remember we had a conversation of this early on in our DeFi Kingdoms life. We didn't really understand how we were getting gains from this, although, you know, we heard that there were gains. And what happens is, anytime there are fees, anytime there's fees in DeFi Kingdoms for a number of different things, in fact, maybe even most things that involve crystal, a portion of those fees are, of course, burned. Well, maybe not for crystal, but a portion of those fees have different things happen to them. And one of the things that happens to it is it goes back into this fee sharing for X crystal or X jewel or something like that. And so over time, this number right here gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. So even though I've got 6.3479 X crystal in here, then it's going to return back to me a little bit more crystal every time I withdraw. So right now, it's going to return, for every 1 X crystal that's in here, it's going to return back to me 1.575 X crystal. And so, as an example, as I've got 6.3479 X crystal, which will never change unless I add more or take some out, right? But if I just sat on this for a year, this number, 6.34, stays the same, but this number right here, how many crystals I will get back, is slowly and slightly increasing. So when I do withdraw, it'll be multiplied maybe by 1.58, for example. Maybe it goes up a little bit from 1.57 to 1.58, and when I withdraw, I will get this many crystal back. So it's a little bit more than the 10 that I put in, right? Or if I've got 6.3479, and then later on, this number turns out to be more like 1.88. So we multiply this by 1.88, then I'd be pulling out 11.9 crystal with this 6.3 X crystal that I've got in there. And I think that you two in chat room right now are probably already aware of that, but if anyone's watching this video a little bit later on and doesn't understand jeweler, that's how that works. But the reason that we might not care about this option too much is because X crystal and being able to put crystal itself into the jeweler is going away, right? It's my understanding you're not going to be able to put crystal into the jeweler after maybe the end of this month in October, or maybe sometime in early November, when the Jeweler 2.0 comes out. And if we need to talk about a little bit more about what Jeweler 2.0 is, we will probably when we get down to here, perhaps, or something. All right, so let's see. But no, it doesn't need to be locked, or it's not locked in. So right now I could immediately come into the jeweler and I can withdraw this right away. So if I say withdraw, and I'm going to withdraw my entire amount, then it's going to give me back about 9.9978, which is just about the amount of crystal that I put in.
Take a break. I've been streaming for, what, 5 hours now? Let's check that real quick. 4.5
And we confirm.
What we'll do is we will take a break, and I might come back for a little bit more later, but maybe not.
And we should see back over here, I had something like 12 point something crystal. I put in 10, so I should have back the 12 point something crystal in a moment. There we go. And I might have lost a tiny fraction of crystal in that move right there, just because maybe there was some rounding, maybe there's some gas fees that were involved. But whatever the case is, that is how the jeweler works, and we can get our money right back out of that. That's not how it's going to work in the future, right? With C Jewel and S Jewel, we will not be able to withdraw our deposited balances right away. We're going to lock them in for a certain amount of time, and just like the gardens, we will be able to claim rewards on a regular basis, but the investment, the initial investment that we put in, will be locked for a certain amount of time, whether it's anywhere between 7 days and 1,095, right? Yeah, C Jewel, S Jewel. Oh, okay, yeah. So you were talking about C Jewel, S Jewel earlier. Let's see. C Crystal and X Crystal explanation from this AM would be a good short video. Yes. So, and that's where you mean C Jewel and S Jewel. Yeah. So there is, of course, no C Crystal and S Crystal, and you corrected yourself down here. But C Jewel and S Jewel are the right ones. And explanation from this AM would be a good short video. That's another good idea. Let's maybe talk about that, or short vids. You've got a couple of really good ideas for short videos, 97A. So there was another one from earlier this morning that I'm not remembering right off the bat, but C Jewel and S Jewel understanding for a short vid. And then there was another one that we were thinking of. Well, let's see if I can remember what it was. Oh, yeah, the dueling. Yeah, thanks. I need to have this little spreadsheet and put all that stuff in to help me remember all this kind of stuff. And it's amazing how my brain is just so scattered these days that I can't remember things from a few minutes ago sometimes, it seems. Rock 808, worldwide event? Let's see. And only saw part of it. Gotcha. So what I want to say about putting it into the jeweler at this moment for X Crystal, I think the gains on this are going to be super small in the short amount of time that we have left, right? So I don't know if any of y'all have paid attention to the speed at which this rises, 1.575 crystal, but this is rather slow. If we're only putting in, and if we come back up to here very briefly, if we put in, let's say we're gaining in this account, and remember, it's not this account, it's not the Rock 808 account, it is the tiny investment account that we're talking about doing. And in that tiny investment account, we are gaining about, let me scroll back here, looks like we're gaining about 3 crystal a day, right? If we're gaining 3 crystal a day, then let's say we go for an entire week, and that means that we get a total of 21 crystal. 3 a day for 7 days is 21. So if we have 21 crystal, and that's going to go into this market right here. So we divide that by 1.575. So that brings us down to 13x crystal, right? So let's say that we put in enough 21 crystal to get us 13.333x crystal. And then let's say that goes up to, or increases to 1.58. by in 2 weeks, which I don't even know if it would go up to 0.58 in a couple of weeks. But in fact, let's be generous. Let's be super generous and say it goes up to 1.6 in 2 weeks, which I am sure that it won't. So if we do that, then our 21X crystal will be worth only 0.333 more than it was when we put in 2 weeks later. Right? So that is a tiny, small amount. Well, let's see. So option A, X crystal in jeweler gains 0.333 crystal in 2 weeks. And I think I'm being generous with that. I think I'm being generous with that. If we put it in here into the jeweler. The next thing that we would want to look at is what gardens do we have? Seed box, gardens, crystal ETH is the pool that we have already invested some into. That's what the gardeners are going up against. Let's see what the APR is. I think the APR has dropped a little bit from when I last was looking at it, about 100% APR. Let me know. So I've got the fan on right now, and I don't know what the audio quality is, but I'm going to turn off that fan and let me know if the audio quality gets any better from this point on. I've had Bjorn say that sometimes when that fan is on, it's really, he says, really bad. I'm not sure exactly how bad that is. Tell you what, let's refresh this. Let's see, 97A says, getting a bunch of cheap heroes and making a serial stream, dueling, turning it into a, make a serial stream dueling them, turning it into like an all-star wrestling series, Rock 808 worldwide. Oh, interesting. So 97A, I think what you're saying is you could hear the fan difference when it was on and then when it's off, but it sounds like perhaps it sounds like it's quieter. Hey, Kupo DFK, thanks for following on Twitch. We're not streaming on Twitch at the moment, but I got that notification sound anyway. That's kind of cool. I don't know if you're watching me on YouTube right now or not. Let's see. But thanks for that follow. Let's see. My fan is loud enough. Didn't even notice it. I gotcha. So the next thing that we want to take a look at is the seed box. And let's see if it works. Oh, there we go. Here it is. So we only have crystal and ETH on the community account, and it's at 86.41% APR. So if we have 21 crystal and the APR is 86.41% APR, then in 1 year, we're going to have, just plugging this into the spreadsheet on the other page right here. In fact, I could bring this over to, let's see here. am I going to do this? Just drag it over like that. Right in here. Okay, so what we're looking at right here is if we have 21 crystal, 86.41 APR, then in a year, we're going to have equals AF 17 times AF 18 gives us an additional 18.46 crystal. And if we take that per day equals AF 19 divided by 365, that's going to be 0.04 per day. And if we're saying that this event is going to happen in 2 weeks, then we can take that of AF 20 times 14 days is going to be 0.69. So what we're looking at here is if we put that 21 crystal into the jeweler, I think we might get back something like 0.33 crystal in 2 weeks. If we put it into the crystal ETH pool, then that might get us 0.69 crystal in that same 2 weeks, plus, and this is only the 86% APR, plus it will also get us some additional amount, which I don't know how to calculate this, but it will get us some additional amount from the gardeners going in and pulling out maybe a little bit, a tiny slight amount more from their questing, right? So, and I have no idea how to calculate that right now. I don't know what the numbers are, the percentages that they pull out. And it does look like there's a little bit of randomness. So if we look here, it looks like they pulled out 0.0923 and 0.0864. But if we scroll back a little bit here, 0.0927, 0.0839. Here's 0.0947, 0.0826. So there's a little bit of randomness in there as well, which again, I don't know what the formulas are for that. But it looks like putting it into the liquidity pool, so we'll just say B for Crystal ETH LP gains maybe 0.696 crystal in 2 weeks, right? And then what do we have? We can recompound, or I'm sorry, that was C, the option C. So option B, convert that to XJoule for voting power and DFK rewards and a small APR. So, we're going to change that to letter C. And for letter B, I'm not sure how we want to rate this here, because if we come back to Firefox, not Firefox, MetaMask, and choose that we want to go to the Harmony blockchain right here, and we look at the jeweler, then we can see here that in the jeweler, 1 XJoule is 1.823 joule. And if I remember correctly, and this is something that I feel I do remember, as opposed to some of my memory that's not good, but I am very, very confident that several days ago, this was 1.823 also. Now, I also remember, because there was an issue with me thinking that this value is going down, that I have a slight vague remembrance that this might have been higher, which is why I spent so much time thinking about it just a couple of days ago. I was thinking that this had been 1.88 or 1.86, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm not sure why it's down a little bit lower. I thought it had been up higher. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I definitely know that over the last several days, this has stayed or remained at 1.823. Now, why this is important is because I am not sure at this very moment if this multiplier, this 1.823 multiplier for XJewel in the bank, is actually growing much, if any. Because remember, this amount from the jeweler, this multiplier grows as a part of the burning process for Jewel. And right now, most of the game is actually being played with the crystal token, right? And so there's not much happening with this Jewel token right now to burn or to get fees. Some things are still maybe done in Jewel. I think some people are still doing swaps, perhaps with Jewel, or paying for eggs with Jewel, or something like that. And there could be some other things that are happening with Jewel also. But what I'm really getting at is Jewel usage. We're not summoning anymore. We're not hiring heroes with Jewel. We're not, what was I thinking of? Leveling up heroes with Jewel. And because of that, I don't think this number is rising at all. It might be locked at this amount permanently since this is going away sometime, or it might be that it's going to rise so slow that we're not going to notice it. And so when we come over here, and as 9A, 7A, and some others have maybe requested for us to talk about the differences here, I don't think that this option B is going to give us much reward. So that small APR might be a super, super small APR, right? And as 9A, 7A says, losing velocity of money in market, yes. And it also says, sounds like ranks higher on the risk then, yes. However, here is where things get tricky, where we might want to where maybe we're not quite comparing apples to apples all the time, and that is, if we have money in X crystal, choice number A, letter A, and if we have money recompounded into the crystal ETH pool, choice letter C, then neither choice A nor choice C gives us any voting power, and it will not get us airdrop rewards, right? So the only thing that's going to give us voting power and potential airdrop rewards are going to be to have this in X Jewel. But I think the thing to think about is how many more votes are there going to be between now and 2 weeks? And the reason I'm bringing up 2 weeks quite often on the spreadsheet and in my talk right now is because I'm pretty sure that we're going to have C Jewel and S Jewel within 2 weeks. That's kind of my estimate. But X Jewel is going away sometime soon. And I am just throwing out there 2 weeks as an example time period for that. So the thing is, if X Jewel is going to be good mostly for voting power, which are we even going to need it for votes over the next 2 weeks? I don't know. Maybe. Is DFK going to do airdrops and snapshots based on the amount of XJewel that anyone is holding in the next 2 weeks? I don't know. Maybe. The small APR, I would say, is probably a non-issue. It's probably not something that we're going to see much gains from at all, if anything. So the only reason that we'd want to hold this is if we were hoping or expecting to get some voting power or some kind of airdrop rewards by just holding X Crystal. All right. So maybe what we should put in the spreadsheet is, oops, where is that? Maybe what we should put in the spreadsheet is maybe voting airdrops in 2 weeks. I don't know. That would probably be what we have. Hey, Crypto Grady, how are you doing today? Great to see you here. I don't know if you wanted to hop on at all. You don't have to. Don't feel obligated. But I just, by you stepping into chat, made me realize that I was not in my Discord stuff. So I'll just hop there into the lobby. So if anybody wants to get on, they can. But what we're talking about right now, Crypto Grady, and Carol, hey, welcome on in. How are you doing? Great to see you here as well. Indeed. Uh-oh, Nightbot is being a little... So, Crypto Grady, I've installed a new service thing here, but do not feel bad. I do want people to do things, so if it is spamming stuff, then we definitely need to stop Nightbot from stopping you from spamming emotes. Spamming emotes is perfectly okay, but right now this little tool is getting in the way, apparently.
Hey, man.
Oh, you're on. Awesome.
I'm on, baby.
How's
it going?
It's going great. We
Man.
we watched your stream with Frisky Fox a little earlier. Super hyped about that. And then, of course, we watched.
So pumped.
Yeah, we watched, of course, the little DFK rewards thing or raffle that happened right after yours as well. So
yeah, same. And I realized afterwards I won one of the, I think, 5 egg giveaways.
Nice, nice. So I have to ask you.
I've never won a Gen0. I've spent so much money trying to win some of these raffles.
Oh man, I can imagine.
And I never won one. Man, that would be amazing.
I have to ask you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
What did you think of the interview?
Let me ask you this first while we're kind of on this topic. How many wallets do you have that might help you to win anything?
Well, okay. So now I have 7.
7, okay.
But at the time of the birthday event, and only using 6, but currently I'm actually only using 3. But I'm still wanting to shift things around. It takes forever.
Yeah.
But which is one of the reasons why helper, there's a couple things with the DFK helper. It's like,
yeah.
You know, as far as a time saver.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the time I had 5 wallets and only using 4 on that birthday event. Yeah. So yeah. I'm doing a lot of the training quest still, but I want to make sure all my gardeners are gardening for the milkweed, because I think gardening is currently at the moment the most profitable way to quest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the biggest reasons is to maximize your miners, your and even the miners too, trying to get more eggs as well. Keep the eggs flowing, especially with the green and yellow eggs, especially yellow eggs. So I want to get my miners going, and I'm pumped for that to come.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I was.
What about you?
I am pumped for all kinds of things. In fact, let me finish up one little thing here, quick. Right as you were stepping in, I was going over in our Discord what we should be doing as the 808 community, the group of viewers that I've got in my stream. Crypto Grady, did you know that I have a wallet just for the community of viewers?
No.
Yeah. So it's a small little wallet. And let me pull that up for you real quick, since that's kind of what we're talking about. So I've got, it's called Play to Earn Investment Fund. And many months ago, when I was in Sandbox, I set up a wallet where I could put in some money and set up investment. I think I put in about $13,000, which wasn't taken out during the bear market, and so of course is now worth, I think, $500.
Oh man.
But there's originally $13,000 worth of funds in there, and the purpose was that we would be investing in some liquidity pools and some other types of things, and all of the value that comes out from that was going to go towards rewards for, contests and giveaways and other kind of things. And I was really big into contests and giveaways when I was doing Sandbox and stuff. And I want to continue that now, but of course in the bear market, it's kind of tough. And
yeah,
this wallet has lost a lot of value, and so that makes the gains smaller as well. But let me show this to you. So this started off in Sandbox, but I've also set up an account for it in DeFi Kingdoms. And if we look at the bank, which I'm sure you're familiar with the bank, right?
Sure. Yeah. Or the jeweler.
Yeah. So for no, not the bank, but a website called DBank.
Oh, yes. Okay, got it.
Okay. And so for DBank, it shows portfolio values and all this other kind of stuff. And so we can see that this wallet has, it looks like about $480 worth of value is what it's claiming right now. I've got $381 worth of value in this Crystal ETH liquidity pool that is being maintained. And of course, we've recently purchased a couple of heroes for this wallet as well. But this is the community wallet. And in my Discord, you might, I don't know if you're watching my screen. Maybe I should share my screen, or maybe you're watching YouTube.
I actually got both, one up on my phone and the other I'm on Discord.
Oh, no. Okay. So you're watching. Yeah. So up on the screen now is the Darlantis Discord, which is, my Discord for stuff. And under the DeFi Kingdom section, there's an 808 fam account channel, which talks a little bit about this wallet address right here, which is our community channel. And we can vote on, as a community, what do we want to do with these funds. And so there are things like, we've got some Jewel that's built up now, 163 Jewel. Should we be buying more gardeners that can go and against our Crystal Ethereum liquidity pool? Should we be recompounding that? Should we take some of that out for prizes and profit, since we haven't done any prizes in several months now since the bear market? Or should we convert that to X Jewel or C Jewel and take part of those fees? Anyway, I've got these little voting things for people in the community to say, hey, I want to do this and we want to do this. But this account right here with this wallet address, C8DD and so on, is set aside for the community to vote and participate, right?
Okay.
And so what?
I was just debating in my mind. See, right now, it seems like getting into Jewel is probably a good move. But it might still be a touch premature.
Could be.
But I've been buying up a little bits of Jewel every day because it's so low right now. You buy when it's low, sell when it's high, baby.
Yes,
and
yes,
Jewel
indeed.
is low, and that one, in my mind, is such a surefire bet long term to be such a winner, especially like as we discussed today with Frisky, the C Jewel and S Jewel.
Oh yeah,
benefits that are coming, and I just think that'll help Jewel to pump. That's going to be, it's deflationary. That's going to be the coin to own long term, I think, even above the others.
Yeah.
But in the short term, I don't know. I'm surprised we haven't seen it pump more at this point, actually.
Right. So this is actually the exact topic that we were talking about right when you walked in. So I've got a little spreadsheet up here. So 9A7A here in chat was kind of asking, or let me pull up back to the Discord thing. So earlier today, I was asking, hey, we're getting very small daily gains in our community wallet, our community account that we have. I think we're only getting about like 3 crystal a day, but it is still 3 crystal a day. And so what do we want to do with that over the course of the next couple of weeks? Do we want to be putting that into the current jeweler as X crystal, right? Because we're getting
Yeah.
3 crystal.
Okay.
And getting the bonuses there, or do we want to be converting that immediately from crystal to X Jewel, which will give us voting power and maybe some airdrop rewards for holding X Jewel, all this kind of stuff that DFK has been providing in the past. And then, of course, I think you know that holding X Jewel might provide a small amount of APR gains as well. Or do we want to recompound those crystal gains into the crystal ETH pool? Or do we want to just convert it to Jewel and not X Jewel in the expectation of putting that into C Jewel and S Jewel to be ready for that? And one of the reasons that we might want to do something different is, rather than putting it into X Jewel, is because I'm pretty sure you've heard the devs talk about this, but Bullen specifically said that if you have X Jewel on Crystal Veil, when C Jewel and S Jewel opens up, that there might be a mad rush to convert from X Jewel into Jewel. And if you're doing that on Crystal Veil, you're going to have to use the DEX market, right? And that means that we might see the price of Jewel rising higher and the value of X Jewel drastically dropping on the market.
Yeah.
And so Bullen and a couple of the other devs were saying that their recommendation was to put that X Jewel into the jeweler on Serendale, where you don't have to fight the market.
Interesting.
Right.
Well, instead of even fighting the market at that moment, you can always just send the X Jewel to Serendale. And if that functionality is still there, I'm pretty sure that's still easily functioning with Synapse.
It
and
is.
Then it'll automatically just be in the jeweler at that point.
Yes.
And so one option could be you could go into the Jewel X Jewel pool. It's still active. Or you could, if you want to just avoid the X Jewel, you could do the Jewel USDC pool.
Right.
You could like split it in half.
You could.
That's an option.
But here's the problem with that. And that is if you put any funds right now into one of the pools, C Jewel or X Jewel, I mean, not C Jewel, but something Jewel or the Jewel X Jewel, what happens when you try to withdraw money from a liquidity pool?
Well, you might get hit with a little fee.
Yes.
But if you leave it in for, I think there's like a 3 to 5 day marker and then an after 5 day marker.
Right.
I think after 5 days, isn't it a 0.25% fee?
Let's go ahead and check on that right now. So I think that it's a little bit, yes, it does go down over time, but I have a feeling that it's not long enough. So I think we're expecting C Jewel, S Jewel, or specifically C Jewel on Crystal Veil to be out, quote, really soon, right?
Okay, you think within 2 weeks even?
I think within 2 weeks. And so I'm a little hesitant to put anything into the gardens right now because I'm worried that if we try to get access to that back into the Jewel so we can put it into C Jewel right away, that we might get hit with some kind of withdrawal fee.
Well, so take a look. I think as long as you're in there, I want to say it's either 3 days or 5 days. It's not too big of a deal.
It might not be. Let me DeFi Kingdoms.
But that is definitely a good point.
Yeah, and we're gonna just say gardens and docks because that's what we want. So if we take a look at the docks and we look in here, then we can see that an epoch is a week. So if you're only doing 2 weeks, it's going to be 0.25% for anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks, which I think we would be getting it then. So you're still paying 0.25% is a lot more than after 4 epochs or 4 weeks, which would only be 0.01%.
And 5 days is 0.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still, that's less than 1%, but
yeah,
I think that we're expecting it so soon that I would rather, at least for my community, and when I'm suggesting what we do with this small amount for our community, is I wouldn't want us to even get hit with a 0.25 if it's only going to happen in a couple of weeks, right?
Well, I'm not sure if 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks is like the soonest possible, because what they said in the last AMA was Q4, and we're already in Q4. Is it right? October, November, December. Yeah. So we're already in Q4. It might not be until next month even.
Possibly.
And if that's the case, earning those fees, would be nice.
It would.
And that would way more than especially if you went into if you went into either one, you're probably fine, but especially into the Jewel USDC, because it's paying better interest. Yeah. The amount of crystal that you'll earn in the meantime is probably going to way more than make up for that 0.5% fee or whatever.
Very likely. And that is where option C for the voting comes in, is we are saying that we could just take that money and put that into Crystal ETH, specifically Crystal ETH pool. And the reason that we would want to do that on this particular community account is because we've got 4 gardeners that are gardening directly towards the Crystal ETH pool. And then, of course, that way we can get the extra benefit from our added amount being hit with the gardeners also then, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I love about DeFi Kingdoms, baby. We got options.
We do. Lots of options.
And they're good ones, man.
Yes, indeed.
I love it.
I want to give a shout out to Potatoes, Zabu, who just jumped in, or maybe jumped in a few minutes ago.
Baby.
Yeah, into the chat room.
Yeah.
So tell me, Crypto Grady, what is your, I watched the stream, but do you have anything more you want to say about the interview you did with Frisky Fox?
Yes, I was just about to go live, but then I saw you were live, and I just thought, hey,
just jump on. Absolutely.
Okay, so I have some major takeaways that are, in my mind, mind-blowing. Okay. So it's even better than I thought. First of all, Frisky Fox is still not even getting paid.
Right.
Like, talk about, he's just all the more, should be a hero of the crypto space, should be a role model of the crypto space, but still yet has tens of thousands of people out there that think he's like a rug pull scam guy.
Yeah, I think that's really unfortunate, and I bet we can do something about that.
So that all the more makes me like want to get up on a soapbox and pronounce to the world, like blast the world and set the record straight. That was like my #1 goal.
Right.
And that's why I hit that early on in the video, was I just want to set the record straight, because that narrative is still lingering around even within the active community still. So, I mean, let alone the tens of thousands of people that left the game.
Right.
Okay. And your guys like George, I Am George, and all the like Hustle, those guys.
Yeah.
Like, dang, they need to watch that interview with Frisky Fox. So that's point #1. He's still not even getting paid. His buddy who provided the initial liquidity, he wasn't even selling a whole lot of it. He was compounding at first.
Right.
Okay. And then also the buddy gave all that locked jewel, gave it up to the team.
Right.
So I wanted to set that record straight too. So that's crystal clear. I know they kind of like already said all this,
they
but
did.
Not crystal clear. Like, let's make this really clear and set the record straight.
Yes.
Which, if I would have been like moderating that AMA or those AMAs, I would have been like, people, listen, let me set the record straight, and just announcing it clearly. Okay. So, okay. Another point to be made on that is that the team has a massive percentage. It might even be over 50% of all the locked jewel that's out there. Possibly. I'm not sure. I had so many more things I wanted to ask him. That would have been one of them. Okay. And they essentially what they did with the proposal that passed like last month, as far as what they're doing with the locked jewel, it's just really beneficial for the community more than it is for the team. Even though obviously it's still benefiting the team, but they're giving up all that locked jewel and it's being replaced with locked crystal and locked jade. Right. So most of it. So I just thought these are all awesome points that need to be pronounced, because even on that proposal, there was some insinuation within the community that that the team was kind of trying to pull a fast one with crystal versus jewel and this and that. Well, no, I wouldn't say at all. The team is totally looking out for the best interests of the community, even over their own personal best interests.
Sure.
These are my biggest takeaways. Also, some of the takeaways, we're hoping to see PvP by Q1, but that, again, speculation. And he's going for it to be awesome. He doesn't want to just put something out fast and cut corners. So that's...
Let me jump in there real quick. So I made a comment in the chat room at that time as well. I said I would have rather seen, because I have maybe a little different view, or I'd like to explain my viewpoint a little bit more, and that is I would have rather seen a little bit more simpler game more quickly, rather than Q1 of next year. We've been waiting on this for so long. And somebody replied to me, I think they were replying to me, maybe I don't want to be so, maybe I don't want to assume this, but it seemed like they were replying to me when they were saying, take your time, let's have a better game, more robust, rather than something put out fast and quick and not good. But I want to clarify that. I'm not suggesting to put out a crappy game too quickly that's not polished. That's not what I'm saying. I would like to have a much more polished game, but not something... So one of the things that really struck me, and this is what caused me to make the comment, was Frisky Fox said something about, we started off having, I think his quote was, we started off by having a few different abilities, but now we're up to, I think he said hundreds of abilities, right? And to me, that's when my brain triggered, and I said, no, that's crazy. I would have preferred a game where they had maybe 10 abilities to start off with, and then get us in there and fighting right away, and then over the course of the next few months, add new abilities on that. You still have a really polished game, but why do we need 300 abilities on day one? Why not 10 abilities on day one a month early, and then over the next couple of months, we continue to add new abilities, we continue to add new stuff, right?
Okay. And so I agree with you. I think, though, what he meant by hundreds of abilities is all the heroes combined. So I'm pretty sure that the guy, Pervy Sage, baby workhorse with Wisdom Gaming, said that each hero, he increased the abilities like up to something like 16 per hero.
Gotcha.
And so maybe if you multiply the number of abilities, and that's also counting subclass, I think.
Sure.
So if I remember right, maybe he even said 30 counting so all the potential combinations of heroes. There's all these potential different combinations of certain abilities.
Right.
Is what he was saying. But so I think, though, even if PvP comes out in Q1, it'll probably just be a first stage type thing. It's not like it'll be a complete game.
Yeah.
They're still probably going to stair step us in little by little, like little aspects of the game being introduced at a time, is my guess, because it just takes time. If you've been in crypto for any amount of time, you know that it takes time. So my kids, ironically, with all this, yesterday, we're talking about League of Legends, and they love playing on their phone. And the phone app is still being developed by the team, not the computer game where you play on the PC, but on the phone, still being developed. And he said they've waited years for several of just the heroes to be developed onto that platform of the phone. And it just takes time. Like when you'll get used to it in the space.
Sure.
Development always takes time.
Right.
And so
but
it's nothing. I'm so used to it. Everything always being delayed. And like with Cardano and Ethereum that I've been in since 2016, 2017.
Here's another way to look at what I'm getting at though, and that is when you look at DFK right now, right? And I mean Crystal Veil right at this moment. Is that a complete game?
Not even close. They stair-stepped it in.
Not even close, right? And so this actually kind of proves my point in a way. This small community that DFK is right now, we love this small, what we have right now, even though it is not completely fleshed out and everything. And we are appreciating that we have something. Now imagine if DFK devs said, we're not giving you anything until it is all done and we're ready to knock it out of the ballpark. That means years of waiting with nothing.
Yes.
And which
is normally what happens.
And that's my point. That's my point.
But I think they're still going to stair-step it in. So before PvP combat comes out, we still have to have profession 10 level questing and the egg hatching for like pets to get paired with different heroes for different things and crafting.
Right.
I think we're going to need that even at the base ground level of PvP, like your most basic introduction to combat. Mm-hmm. I think will require the pets, and I think maybe not.
Maybe that would be one of the stair steps.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure the profession 10 level questing and the pet hatching for the green, yellow, and gold eggs are coming sooner. We didn't actually get to that. But I'm pretty sure all these new things will keep coming. We've got Clayton coming, and the 3 or 4 months that it takes for combat to finally come out will probably be a hop, skip, and a jump. Go by a lot faster than I was hoping maybe by the end of the year. But when he said Q1, I thought that was pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
So just especially considering everything they've been through.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the hack just happened during the summer. When was that? Was that in July, maybe?
I think so. It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. And so, we're just talking 60 to 90 days ago, I think. Mm-hmm. All the stuff they've been through, it's phenomenal at how fast they're actually still going. They're still grinding away at doing all this. If you put yourself in their shoes, just imagine what they've been through.
Exactly.
Just mentally, physically, their family lives, all the background stories. They've had to fire people. They've seen devs let go. They've had to restructure combat altogether.
Right.
And they teamed up with Wisdom. All of this is that. I mean, that's like within 30 to 45 days ago, did they even start?
Right.
With Wisdom. Because they kind of had to, I don't know if they just scratched what they had done before, but I think a lot of what they had done before was just scratched.
Yeah.
They had to start from over again.
Yeah.
Was partially my understanding. That would be another question I'd have for like Hubert or somebody. How much of the prior PvP work was scratched, started over? And so I know he's grinding hardcore. Mm-hmm. The Wisdom guy, Pretty Sage, and I think they have 6 guys working on it, and the DFK team has 2 or 3 guys working on it. Teamed up.
It's a team. It's a team.
Yes. Yep. But the one main guy is the workhorse guy, Pervy Sage. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, he's rocking and rolling, and I know they'll get it out as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think it's really, they're doing a phenomenal job, especially considering the circumstance. Speed wise is really, really good. It's tough to be in their shoes and just how resilient they've been pushing through.
Sure.
That's a good point, man, because that's most people's frustration. Like even Thanos and the man, he's holding it hard over their head that they still don't have it out. And in his mind, because he's a rock star developer, he's like a wizard.
Sure.
Developer, hardcore, nuts. He's like on a whole nother level of developers. And in his mind, he could have gotten it done by now, And so he's just kind of hard on the team. And a lot of people share your same sentiment, I think.
Here is an interesting thing about blockchain games. I was talking about this on the Twitch stream this morning, in fact, and that is one of the cool things about blockchain games is we do not need to wait on the team. If Than or anybody else out there, if they can develop a PvP for DeFi Kingdoms, do it. I mean, just like Fight Club. They've developed their own thing. Of course, they've done it through a Discord channel, but they wouldn't have to. Anyone can take especially now, which is one of the things I think that the DeFi Kingdoms chain has recently done. I don't know if you caught that in the AMA, but it's my understanding that now that they have permissionless contracts on DFK is what I understand. That means that anyone can go in and write their own smart contracts that interact with the DFK chain without needing permission from anybody else to write those contracts. That's my understanding of what that was said on the AMA.
That's exactly right.
That means that any of these developers could develop a game with the DeFi Kingdoms NFTs, the heroes and the pets and anything that we've got right now. And they could even add on to it things that we don't even have yet. And put something out there, in a month or 2 or 3. Not that a good game is going to be able to be created that fast, but we want to make sure that we all know that we don't have to wait on the team. If anybody is like, oh, I think I can do better, go for it. It's open.
Yes.
It's open.
And it's wide open to do that. I'm so pumped for all the developers, too, that are actually doing some of that already, like Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I love it, man.
Yeah. In fact, the team has even said on multiple occasions, that's the whole purpose of doing all of this. They want other developers to come in and start to throw a lot of resource and stuff, development at this and come up with new games and all this kind of stuff as well. I mean, that is the purpose. So, it's not like
so exciting.
It's not like you're going to be stepping on toes, right? Yeah, nobody's worried about people stepping on toes and anything like that. Just get something out there, right?
Right. That's exactly right. And they'll help support you even.
Indeed.
In doing that.
Indeed.
Even if it's in competition with their own game. They don't care. They're not going to care.
I don't think they will. No.
They'll support you. Yep. It definitely is the case. I love it.
Yeah. Very, very cool. What were some of your other takeaways from the interview?
Yeah. So, I've heard it said in a lot of the debates with people that were critical of DeFi Kingdoms is that it's not FUD if it's true. Well, what was all the more solidified in my mind during that interview was that it's false. It's not all the FUD was exactly that.
It was
FUD. It was false.
Exactly.
And Frisky Fox is just an exceptional human being. And he has taken on so much things that he shouldn't have been taking on as far as all the hate he's getting.
Yeah.
And criticism. Most of it was unwarranted, especially given the circumstance that he was in. And it's even better. He even did a better job than I realized he did. Mm-hmm. With all, even the guy that would claim the rewards from that pool, he wasn't even allowed to sell all of it at once.
Right.
He had the same rules as the team has with their jewel in crystal.
Yeah.
So anyways, those were my biggest takeaways.
That was an eye-opener for me, by the way, too. I'm glad that you asked that question or a couple of those questions because, I didn't know that. I knew that Frisky was doing good things and the team was doing good things, but I didn't know that it was quite to that extent. So that was an eye-opener. I was like, wow, I did not realize it was, they put that much thought into it. Yeah.
Right. And also, I think their financial situation is good for years to come, regardless of recession, bear market. That was my takeaway. Now, we don't know exactly how their financial situation is, but it is an income generating, product already as it is for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really fair. The team gets, I think, 16 or 17% of all those like summoning fees, leveling up fees, duels, all those kinds of things. All the gold I know is burned in items. So like if you craft a potion that costs gold, well, that's not going to the team. That 100% of that gets burned
Yeah.
when that happens.
Yeah.
And so everything is just even better than what I could have hoped, honestly, given the fact that they've been through.
Yeah. One of the
So I'm all the more like energized and charged to get up on a soapbox and spread the DeFi Kingdoms gospel to the world.
I'm with you on that, Crypto Grady. In fact, I've been thinking about doing something very similar myself. In a way, I hate to call out people directly, just because I want to be spreading peace and love throughout the DFK community, certainly, and even the broader crypto community. But at the same time, I feel like maybe calling a few people out specifically, and again, I don't want to encourage
I
that
think you
anybody
should
does this,
do
but
it.
but
Do it.
it is a thought that's crossed my mind to say, hey, and maybe even like do a rock you've seen all these YouTube videos where it's like so and so reacts to whatever right? And I'm thinking about doing a reacts video to some of these others where I actually take clips, so it's not going to be a live necessarily, or
Yeah.
if it is, then I'm going to pre-set up these various clips. But I'm thinking
Yeah.
about setting up maybe a slightly more polished YouTube video where I've got clips of these people's other videos, and I'm going to say, this is the kind of FUD that we were dealing with, and at the time, it might have been a good stance to take because so many crypto projects do rug, and we want to be careful. And so, in a way, I would hate to say, in hindsight's always 2020. So we can look back now and we can say, oh yeah, of course we shouldn't have done anything. We should have given more leeway. But at the time things were happening,
Yep.
I would hate to say that we shouldn't be careful, but obviously there is an extreme. And one of the points that I think you're coming out with now is there's still so much misunderstanding that we probably should clear that out and have these other YouTubers come out and say, oh, wow, looks like our speculation was wrong, and actually have them address their communities as well and say, oh, wow, it looks like DeFi Kingdoms is still alive and kicking and they're doing better and all of our worries were unfounded, right?
I think absolutely unequivocally, that's the most important thing you could do right now for the sake of the community and the project.
Yeah.
Call them out, man. That I can't help it, but I don't like to call people out either. Like, it's not something I enjoy doing or like doing.
Yeah.
But I can't even help myself. I think it's important, especially in this situation, because that's the reason why the project crashed so hard.
Everyone was pulling out.
Because some of the biggest YouTubers, like I guess the biggest one with DeFi Kingdoms, like straight flooded the project and left. And still hasn't come back, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't even familiar with the guy somehow.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I don't want to name any names here, but yeah, I mean, I think there's several YouTubers that, and again, maybe it's, again, I don't want to accuse, I'm not sure I even want to use that word right now, but I don't want to say that these people aren't here because of the FUD. We got to keep in mind also that there was a big bear market hitting right at that same time. And I have a feeling I have a feeling that some people might have gotten a little discouraged, even like Sandwich Punch as an example, where you get hit with, Luna Crash, the Harmony Bridge hack, all this other kind of stuff that has nothing to do with the FUD. And that kind of could pull you out of enthusiasm for the crypto anything, right?
That's right.
And I think a lot of people might just be a little not turned off necessarily, but just need a break from all the negativity in the crypto world for now. And that could be a reason that they're not opening themselves up to
Yeah.
some other projects.
That's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
With the people that have left, that's definitely a percentage of the people that have left. But even with those people, there's still stuff in the back of their mind. And even within the community that's still around,
Yeah.
okay, there's still a little bit of a cloudy thing in the back of their mind that they're skeptical about the team. So like I even like real graciously and gently called out the brown gent. Okay. And you know what that caused? It only caused us to get closer. So we worked it out. We've done videos together.
Nice.
And we're good friends. And he's now way more into the game.
Yeah.
Because the brown gent was one that was kind of, you know, throwing out some FUD here a little bit. And
I've seen some more videos from him recently, and he was one of the streamers that I was definitely watching a lot back in the day. And it's good to see that he's doing more videos again.
Yeah, he's doing more, and he's bullish on the project, and he's, you know, he's come back around. He was rightfully so. The skepticism, it's not bad to like have concerns and skepticism. Like he was thinking, he was just being real and honest with where he was at. He was thinking that this looks kind of shady, Frisky Fox. Like I think he even said, I think he needs to step down and let Dreamer take charge. And I was like, took him head on, you know, at the time, but he in a gracious way, because obviously, you know, he's still around and wants the project to succeed. He wasn't. I think with some of the YouTubers, they get off. They get better ratings on FUD.
Yes.
And that drives me nuts. Like, so that's it. Just I'm gonna really be outspoken about those type of guys that because they're not even being authentic. They're only saying these or planting seeds of negative things in your mind to oftentimes just for the ratings.
The clickbait videos, you know.
Yes, like it looks like maybe they're just like inferring and thinking out loud. And it's for the clickbait. You know, they do these memes. Can't stand a lot of the memes out there. It's caused me to stop watching a lot of these guys because you just can't trust them.
Right.
The number one thing we need to look for when we're trying to find good YouTube content is, do I trust this guy? That's why I'm on your channel right now.
Yeah.
Right away, do they meet the core values of my core values, which is I'm not just trying to build a YouTube channel. I'm just not trying to make a name for myself. In my core values, I want to have people around me, and I want to watch the YouTubers, and also I want to be a YouTuber myself with ethics. That it's not about me, it's not about my YouTube channel, it's not about making money. Okay, it's about looking out for the best interest of the community or whatever it is that I'm talking about and my listeners.
Agreed. Yeah.
And that's like you hit that core value as strong as anyone I've ever seen. Like, well, you're phenomenal.
And you do too.
That's the number one thing I look for.
Yeah, and you do too.
Guys like Mosh, you know, all these guys. It's definitely by far the best community I've ever been a part of with crypto. By far.
Oh man. So
phenomenal.
I love DFK community, but every time I hear you say that for months now, I've had I've kind of wished in the back of my mind, I need to jump on there and say, without pumping other projects too much, have you been, it doesn't sound like you've been a part of the Sandbox community. And again, I don't want to turn this into a pitch for Sandbox, but I spent 6 months in Sandbox community, and they do, from everything that I've seen, have an amazing community. And
okay. No, tell me more. No, I wasn't deeply plugged into that community.
Yeah.
So to be fair, even though I still hold and I'm staking, and I was actually wanting to ask you, maybe I should ask you off air, but I'm still got a bunch of Sandbox tokens in there staking right now in Polygon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, as an example, some things that I've heard you say is, you know, the DFK team is the most professional and all this other kind of stuff and above board. And I agree with you that they certainly are top rated. But I also remember that Sandbox has, especially during their alpha seasons and stuff, daily updates or daily streams for many hours every day.
With the devs? with the devs?
With not necessarily the devs, but there's a front person,
Okay.
Joseph, who comes in and he answers. He's like an AMA, and he is directly plugged into the devs, and so he gives a
Okay.
lot of information. You could ask any question you want, and either he knows the answer or he will get the answer right away. And there are devs that sometimes pop into that channel as well, and or are just kind of monitoring in the background, and they will answer right then, even though they're not necessarily part of the video production of the stream, which is
Wow.
fantastic. And again, anything also, they've made radical changes on the fly for when the community has been outspoken about something. So I remember,
Okay.
even to the point that it bothered me, where I made big financial decisions based on what he said one day. You know, again, he's speaking for the production team and all this kind of stuff, and what they're doing. And he said, we're going to do something, and I forget the exact topic, whatever it was now, but he said, we're going to start doing this certain way because we want to protect the community. And I made a multiple $1,000 change because of what he said. Like,
Yeah.
okay, if he says this, then that means I need to do these other things financially to get myself in a better position. But apparently that really affected the community in the chat room. So a bunch of people in the chat room were saying, oh no, you know, it's going to cause this or it's going to cause that and all this other kind of stuff. And but I made these changes based on what he said the dev team was planning to do. Well, he comes back the next day. So he stays up all night long, for one, working. He hears the community in the chat room and the people there, and he goes back to the devs. He says, this is what the community is saying right here. He gets word, they make some changes, and immediately come back the very next day on the live stream and says, okay, now because we've heard what you're saying, we're going to do a little something different. And unfortunately, because of that, I had already made a several $1,000, you know, change in something. But I was still happy to see that the community was taken involved. And again, I don't want to turn this into a sandbox spiel or anything like that, but I did want to just say there are other communities out there that are doing some fantastic things. And
that was one of my questions I asked even in one of my recent videos was, has anyone ever seen a community do this? Or a team do this? I've never seen it. So there we go. There's an answer. And what you just described for the sandbox guy is my very seat that I've envisioned myself being in with DeFi Kingdoms, and have talked with Frisky Fox about in the past. And he even brought it up again today after the video. So of kind of being like a moderator / PR guy, kind of marketing guy who helps with the messaging, and helps kind of run those AMAs and also do daily YouTube videos on DeFi Kingdoms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like exactly what you're doing already.
Well, maybe not exactly. I'm kind of doing more of a day in the life of a DFK player.
Yeah. Right.
But and certainly anyone can come into my chat room and ask questions, and I'm happy to teach, you know, whatever I know, and to show demonstrations or whatever. But it's a little bit different than oh, and also, I mean, if you want to talk about what Sandbox is doing with that and maybe kind of follow or get some ideas from you.
I was curious as to, you know, what your thoughts are about Sandbox now. So if you want to talk about that at all.
Yeah, so I do have some other personal thoughts that I don't really feel comfortable sharing on stream at this point. You and I might be able to talk about something offline a little bit, but overall, I think they're a fantastic project, and I still own 6 lands in Sandbox, which I think were about, when I bought them, they were about $15,000 each. So I've lost quite a bit of value in those with the bear market that we've had here recently, but I'm still holding those, and I still plan to do something with those Sandbox lands. In fact, I've even said on my stream a couple of times, wouldn't it be cool if we created a DeFi Kingdoms game what's called an experience, or kind of like a mini game in the sandbox. Now, I don't know if you've even ever played sandbox stuff where you get in. It's a metaverse. It's a 3D immersive metaverse, right?
Right. Yeah, I've watched YouTube videos on it. I've never done it myself, though. Yeah.
So at one point, I was even creating these experiences where you have quests that you can go on, and you pick up your NFT items that you see laying around in the different things and everything, and I was building those out, and working on some of those, and watching and playing some others that other people were building. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be interesting if we had a DFK related experience in the sandbox where people could go from the DFK community into a 3D immersive metaverse environment there under Sandbox? And I was thinking about if DFK ever does partner with Polygon, that maybe interacting with the Sandbox would be the way to go. And if people want to have a playable, fun game that DFK is providing, it could be something through a Sandbox experience, right?
That sounds like a brilliant idea. You'd be the perfect guy to help bridge that process as well, man.
Maybe so. So anyway, I think they're a great project and all that kind of stuff. I would say I'm still very positive minded about that. But again, DFK is really taken my forefront. And so I'm spending all of my time on DFK, and I haven't really looked much at Sandbox in the last 4 months or so, 4 or 5 months. But that is not to say that I have given up on them or anything. It's just DFK has been my main focus.
Yeah, I love it. No, and that's what I wanted to hear. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't some big, massive red flag about the project.
No, the project is great. It's the reasons that I shouldn't say all the reasons, but a little bit of the personal stuff that I didn't necessarily want to share is just personal stuff. It is not anything with the team or the development or the progress of Sandbox. All of that stuff is great, and I've still got some financial investment in them as well. So yeah,
that's awesome to hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not like I have a ton. I mean, I made a lot of money on Sandbox. I bought it when it was low and sold it when it was high, but I still had a nice little bag. But it's not like it was a ton, like $3,000 worth or something. It's probably worth like $1,000 now.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at it, and I need to compound it anyways. Like I need to get in there.
And I think my investment, especially since that was the first NFT game that I was really kind of aping into, I think we're talking well into 6 figures.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's how I am with like multiple 6 figures with DeFi Kingdoms. Yeah, same.
So
and the same thing could have happened with me, because Sandbox was one I was always big on, and I made a lot of money on Decentraland as well.
Oh yeah,
on both.
Yeah, and my if you want to call them losses, but my reduction in value is nothing to do with Sandbox. It really has to do with just the bear market, right?
Yeah.
If I would have put $100,000 into DeFi Kingdoms back in January and December of last year, I'd be in the same position in DeFi Kingdoms.
Or even worse, potentially, actually. Because I think Sandbox, let me look. I'm looking it up right now. I think it's held up reasonably well. Okay, 75 cents. Okay.
Down from $5 or $6 when I got in, right? So I got in about $6 or so, and now to be down to 70 cents, that's a massive dip.
That's rough, but at least it's not as bad as DeFi Kingdoms.
Well,
because I first kind of got into DeFi Kingdoms, yes, at $5, $6, $7, but the bulk of my money came in when it was at $9, $10, $11, and Crystal was double that.
Yeah.
And with Sandbox, I actually got in on this bad boy when it was like 20 cents.
Oh wow.
Or maybe less, maybe less than 10 cents even at first. Not a ton of money or anything, but yeah, I mean, I smashed on that one.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's still rough.
Anyway, what is our plan going to be for elevating DeFi Kingdoms up to? I mean, how are we going to get 5,000 more users? How can you and I help bring in 5,000 new users into DFK.
Okay, right off the bat, if you do a video for that guy or whoever that you want to address that put FUD out, boom, and then if you might be surprised how impactful that can be. And then if that YouTuber decides to do another video and set the record straight right away, boom. Like, because I think that guy had how many thousands of followers? The largest YouTuber that was a big DeFi Kingdoms guy.
Yeah, there were several, and but if we
Like,
are able to convince them again, or at least to let them listen to some of the arguments for DeFi Kingdoms these days, then yeah, we might be able to get them to create a new video, and that could reach a lot of people.
Yeah, the biggest ones obviously are George and Hustle. Like if I could get on, and I was even thinking about doing specific videos for them. I just don't know if they'd ever watch it. George probably would never watch it, but maybe Hustle would. And if I did a video just for Hustle, and sent it to just sent it to those guys as much as I could and just hope they listen to it. And then Hustle comes back around and does a video, and then Crypto Man Ran, catches wind of what's going on. That would just ignite a flame. So, and even what I talked about with Frisky Fox after the video was here, I was just sharing with him, here's what I envision doing for that PR quote unquote position for you guys. It would be that I would be all over BitBoy and Coin Bureau, Crypto Man Ran, Hustle, I Am George. I would just be in several of those type guys talking about, I would be pursuing them, trying to get in contact with them, doing videos, hopefully even on their channel, things like that. So that would be a huge, in the short term, the largest jumpstart we could possibly get.
I think I agree with that. Yeah.
Yes. Now in the long term, that's why I was wanting to do my DeFi Kingdoms for Beginners series, and really helping more people just adopt crypto into their lives. Yeah. And specifically gamers. Now it's right now is the ideal time for people to get into the game, but most people aren't going to get into the game until PvP comes out, combat, or something that's really fun to play. Right. It can draw them in.
Right.
Once we get that, then that will be when and then as far as ease of use, introducing new people in, if they can get an app. So that was one of my questions today. I wanted to ask them is, are you guys thinking an app? How far, have you guys started developing that at all? I don't think they have, but it would be awesome if you just go to the App Store, download DeFi Kingdoms, and do it all from that app, and it has an integrated built-in wallet and everything within that one central spot. That would be massively huge. And you could even buy the crypto from that, potentially, like with Ramp type thing. That would just be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then lastly, if they can get Jewel. So one of my questions also that we didn't get to was getting Jewel listed on Coinbase on these different sites. They're already in conversations about doing that down the road. They said that's going to be pricey. It takes a lot of money up front to do that. But when that happens,
hold on,
look out.
To do what?
List Jewel on Coinbase
and
Binance.
Okay. So let me
been in conversations with both to do that already.
Let me let's pause right there. I'm interested in your input on this. So my personal feeling is that's a terrible idea, and here's why.
Okay.
So I do agree that putting Jewel on Binance and Coinbase would definitely raise the price of those items, right? They would get it in more people's faces and all this kind of stuff. But here's the problem that I have, and that is I'm not necessarily sure that I want a super high price of the Jewel token itself. Crystal token, yeah, that sounds good to have a higher price on it. Well, maybe not even that. And let me tell you a few reasons for that. Here's the first thing about the centralized exchanges. If Jewel specifically is supposed to be a token for governance, right? In other words, holding Jewel is what we want to have for C Jewel to get governance, and if holding Jewel is going to allow for airdrops and all that kind of stuff, that sounds to me like what they want is they want deeply embedded gamers that are really appreciating the game of DeFi Kingdoms itself to be holding Jewel. So why would we want to open up this precious Jewel token to random speculators and maybe whales sitting in a DEX that are going to, on a whim, oh, Jewel is up today, let's buy $3 billion or $3 million of it. And then, of course, the price shoots up for a while. And then in some other random speculation, oh, I'm done with Jewel for now. Let's dump all of it and let's go to something else. And so because it's listed on the DEXs, I think we're going to have a lot wider variation in the prices of that. And it's not going to be as stable as that. So that's one aspect that I'm talking about when I don't want it on the DEXs, because you're going to have people investing that don't care about the game, right?
Sure.
So let's keep it off the DEXs, so you have to get into the game to be able to get some of that, and then you are going to have a smaller number of people that hold it, but those people that are holding it are going to be much more passionate about it. So that's my first point. My second point is that I think I would prefer a smaller value in maybe crystal and or jewel, maybe both, I don't know, but to have more of it. In other words, how many, like when I first got into DeFi Kingdoms, I think the first couple of heroes that I bought were $80, $200, somewhere right around in there. I don't know if you've had a lot of experience or interaction with some of your viewers that might or might not be in these third world countries, but I do have some viewers in my channel that live in like the Philippines and Taiwan and Thailand and so on. And they're telling me that $40 is a month's salary in some of these places, right? And so imagine, I don't know what most Americans are making or in first world countries, but imagine that a hero is worth, or to pay for a hero, it's 5 months of your salary or 10 months of your annual salary. That's almost like I can't even afford to get in that game, right? But if Jewel and Crystal are $1 each, let's just say they're $1, or let's say they're, well, maybe not even $1. Let's say they're 25 cents or 50 cents, kind of like what they are now. That means that heroes, because of the price of summoning a hero, and that's, I think, where it locks into a certain place. Summoning a hero costs a certain amount of crystal, period. 32 crystal for a Gen 1 and a Gen 1 to get together, right? 32 crystal.
Yeah.
And so that kind of...
30 each, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about a Gen 1. Right? Is 16,
Gen 1.
16 and 16, right? So 16 and 16 is going to be 32 total.
Right, yes.
So you can get a Gen 2 with as little as 32 crystal, and that means, and that's partly why our floor stays right around 30 crystal, because that's really the cheapest that someone can summon a brand new hero, right?
Right.
And so what that means then is that if crystal was $10, then 32 jewel at $10 each would be $320 for a person in Taiwan to buy a single hero. And I remember when I bought my first hero, I was like, man, I can't afford many of these. So I paid $80 or $200 for my first couple. And I just sat on those, and I was doing manual questing, and I wasn't really making enough money to do anything. So I didn't even know about bots back then anyway. But even if I was thinking about a bot, I think that for some of these bots that are monthly payments, $35, $100 a month, or whatever, it's like, that's crazy. I'm not making that much, and I would only have 2 heroes anyway, which might not be worth paying that much for a bot. But if heroes or I should say if Crystal and Jewel are only 25 cents each, then you're talking about a 32 crystal hero being about $4 or $5. Now you're talking about someone in Taiwan being able to get into the game, and you're talking about opening up the game to literally tens or hundreds of thousands of more people that can now afford. And as you know, having one or two heroes is okay, but once you start having a dozen or 50 heroes or 100 heroes, now your pool of selection becomes so big and you have so many options that's what really makes the game a lot more fun, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Sure.
so it all comes down to cheap heroes. If heroes are too expensive and someone can only afford one or two, they're not going to get a lot of fun out of that. But if someone can afford a dozen heroes, that's when it starts to get more fun. And to do that, I think we're going to need cheaper crystal and jewel. So again, if you put it on the decks and if you have those higher values, I think we're going to drastically reduce our player base.
Well, okay. I have a lot of responses to that.
Yes, please.
This is a good debate.
Yes.
So this is definitely a debate, though, between us, disagreement, and it's good. So no, this is great conversation. It's not the first time this has come up. So that's, first of all, the reason why Jewel has never been listed on any of those sites is for this very reason. And part of the reason why they wanted Jewel to be separated out from any in-game functions, such as now Crystal and Jade will have, is so that they can list it on a central exchange without these big price fluctuations happening with in-game needed use. That's one of the main reasons why they did that, was to make Jewel more of a token that if I'm just a casual investor on the side and but I don't want to play the game, but I want to invest into the game, then that's going to be how I'm going to do that. And so also with the liquidity pools, that is what has drawn in most people into the game in the first place.
Yes.
I would say. So the high interest liquidity, isn't that how you said you got into it at first?
It is.
Also?
That is exactly how.
Yeah, and that's how I got into it. I heard a lot of buzz about it, but I was just looking at the liquidity pools. I was just a liquidity, like a DeFi junkie. I was all over Phantom and all these different blockchains all over the place doing DeFi, and wasn't particularly interested in the game, although I was. I'm kind of an all or nothing guy,
right?
and so, but yeah, and I'm sure you know this, that earlier in this game, the floor heroes were $500.
Yes.
Minimum.
Yes.
Yeah. And so crazy. And so when you talk about the Philippines and things, now this is where we get into the guilds and different things, where there will be guilds that can hire those guys out. So this is what Axie Infinity did a lot of.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Axie Infinity, man, we're talking like those heroes, the floor of those heroes were up to like $3 or $4 or $5, $6 grand per hero. Yeah. At the floor. Yeah. Okay. And so we could actually see that same thing happen here with DeFi Kingdoms. Actually, believe it or not, if the game is that solid and successful, where people can play and earn. And so what we'll see happening is that big wallet whales will create guilds. Okay. And this gets real. I love how with this, all the more like with land and different things, there's going to be guilds where we can bring on players from other poorer countries where they can make some good money playing this game. And so, okay, but let's rewind back to,
okay, go ahead.
Okay. So the main thing was, so I would say if we want to see, so I have a price prediction for 5 to 10 years out of $100 jewel, or potentially even $1,000 jewel.
Oh no.
The only way that's possible is, and I mean, and I'm just kind of looking at the market cap.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
That's essentially what Sandbox did, for
Mhm.
example.
Yep.
Sandbox went from fractions of a penny all the
Yes.
way up to like $10.
Yeah, they did.
Or $9 maybe
Eight.
at its high.
Yeah.
Eight something. Okay. It might have wicked up over 9, and I want to say I sold some over 9 even.
I think the high was
maybe not.
$8.57, I think.
Okay. So and that's when the market cap of Sandbox was, I want to say, didn't it get close to like something like $20 billion market cap?
Sounds about right.
Okay. So I'm looking at this now. Now, currently, Sandbox it's still at 1.1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would, if it got up to 850 some, we're talking an over 10x. So yeah, it got probably at its peak somewhere close to like 14 billion market cap, something like that.
Yeah.
14, 15 billion. Okay. So, but right now it's still at 1.13 billion. Okay. With a B.
Yes.
As in boy.
Yep.
Dual is at a market cap of 17 million.
Yep.
With an N.
Yes.
So if we ever want to see those type of gains for Jewel, we're going to have to bring in the traders, unfortunately. So there's nothing more than I hate in the crypto space than the freaking traders that have no conviction in the project. They're just trying to make a quick buck.
Right.
Like, I'm with you. I hate it. But so that's part of it. When you put this token on Binance and Coinbase and KuCoin and those different platforms, you're going to just have to deal with having traders. But still, nonetheless, this has never been listed on anything, and we had the same effect happening with Jewel all along. Yep. The same thing was already happening. So you can't hardly escape it.
True.
All that it means is that it will then happen on a larger scale. The other reason why it'll be huge once it's on those platforms is that it will just be get more people into the game. Because now you have like with Coinbase, there's like 100 million people worldwide, I want to say. And maybe that's even low. I'm not exactly sure how many people have Coinbase downloaded, but you're essentially now putting Jewel in front of 100 million people, or the 10 million daily active users that use it, or however many millions use it. It's now in front of their face. So it's just an absolute no-brainer to have Jewel, not Crystal, in the other coins. Because if you're pumping those coins, then the end game function makes it a lot more complicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm with you there. Even though I would still actually support if they did all their tokens, actually, because all it's essentially going to do is pump the ecosystem. And yes, you're going to have to deal with traders that are stuck, that we're just stuck with anyways, I would say, dumping on the project. But it's just going to help get more people into the game. Yeah. And that's why we have a market cap of 17 million. I mean, that is a micro cap coin.
It is.
It is literally a micro cap coin. I'm on CoinGecko. What is the number? I want to say it's like 750 or something, or maybe even 800 rank on the market cap.
Wow.
It's like crazy. With I mean, it's such a micro. One person could come in and double the market cap.
Yeah.
And I know that would be happening if people actually knew how awesome this project is and how awesome the developers are.
Absolutely.
We would have people dropping $100 million into the project.
let me jump in real quick because you've
Yeah.
just reminded me of something I wanted to touch base with you. Remember a few minutes ago we were talking about making, a good video and bringing in a lot of people, and we talked about a little bit about what some of the topics might be.
Yeah.
Let me also say one of the things that I think was a fantastic video, or maybe a couple of fantastic videos, is RJ, or Richard Jordan. I don't know. I've got him pulled up on my screen right now. Did you ever watch any of his videos?
No, that
So,
doesn't ring a bell. RJ.
yeah. RJ joined me on my channel several months ago, I guess, before the bear market stuff and all this kind of thing was going on. And he's, as you can see, he's got lots of videos for DFK. Most of them are from months and months ago, so 8 months ago and
Okay.
so on. But one of his videos, I think that
Oh
really,
yeah, I have seen this guy.
yeah,
I have.
this
Okay.
video specifically right here, how to make up to $100 to $300 a day with DFK Arena, or actually it
Yes.
wasn't that one. It was something very similar. How I'm making hundreds of dollars a day or whatever with heroes. So I guess it
Right.
wasn't that particular video, but one of these other videos. Anyway, the point is that it struck me just in our conversation today that you might have a really good philosophy on making some large amount of money. Oh, this one right here. I think it was what
Yeah.
it was. How I made $32,000 in 2 months playing DeFi Kingdoms was one of the
Yes.
early videos that I saw. And I was thinking that kind of thing could bring in a lot of new people, because just like you and I, both being originally attracted to DeFi Kingdoms for the high APRs, I think a lot of people who would be willing to pay for NFTs in the first place already have to be okay with paying to play at some level, right? Because there are those people that say, I'm never going to pay for a game, and if I have to pay, then that's not a video game that I want to get into. And because they're more of a gamer than an investor type of person, I think. So,
Yeah, and that's where the guilds can really come in. What's important is for PvP to have a skill-based game. Like really, Fight Club is very much a skill-based game.
yeah,
We've seen it. Like we have the same guys, and we almost had Corey in the finals, but we almost had a repeat of the last finals, in this tournament. And when you look it up, Pouring is just played the most.
yeah.
He's so good at the game. He knows it like the back of his hand. There's so much strategy that comes into it as well. It's not like a crapshoot type game. It's a skill-based game. And I think PvP will even be the case more so.
Yes.
From everything I've seen. So yes, that will bring in a lot of the gamers. And then the guilds can come into play potentially, where you can like rent heroes or something. Somehow there'll be solutions to where we can have other people utilize our heroes. Like,
Right.
Especially if someone doesn't want to do a whole bunch of playing, but they want to be a part of it and own heroes and different things like that.
Right.
We'll see guys wanting to have their heroes be put to use through things like guilds.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, a lot of it just hinges on the product. So once we have a solid, awesome product that's marketable, yeah. And I did do videos like this guy. How much money am I making per hero per day? Stuff like that.
Right.
But bear market is just brutal.
It is.
Reaching out to like this guy, this Richard Jordan, is something I really want to do. And I even did that for the Renaissance Gaming guy.
Yep.
And he actually responded, and it piqued his interest back into the game. He has like a phenomenal beginner series of just 4 videos. Just the best that I ever saw as far as beginners series into the game was his videos. So good.
Wow.
And he put so much time and energy into it as well. So getting a lot of those guys back interested
Right.
in realizing all that's actually happening
Yeah.
is probably at the short term the best thing we can do.
Yeah. You notice some of these YouTubers, of course, have a decent sized audience. So Richard actually is a little bit smaller than I thought, only 11,000 subscribers, but that's still quite a few compared to even you, but me with even less subscribers. I had more on Twitch because I've been around Twitch for such a long time, but I think on YouTube I've only got 170 or so. And it takes time to build that up. But what I'm getting at is if we can reach out, and I did reach out to Richard maybe a month ago or so and said, hey, I haven't seen you put out videos in like the last 5 months. Are you still there? And of course, you've noticed all of his videos here are DeFi Kingdoms for the last, bit of time. And then 5 months ago, boom, he suddenly stops.
Yeah, he stopped because he probably lost all his money. It
could be, or it could also be the FUD was happening about that time, and also the bear market was really coming in hard about that time. Harmony bridge attack, Luna, all that kind of stuff. So there could be any number of reasons. I reached back out to him a little while ago, and his response was something like, I'm an investor and I'm involved in several other projects. And so I didn't want to push him too hard, at least right then. But now that I'm looking at his YouTube channel again here, and I see he's had no videos out in the last 5 months, not even on any other topics, then I might reach out again and maybe I can, have him take another look or help to encourage him to get back in here. But you are right. If we touch base with some of these other YouTubers again, then that might be a way to start to get more eyeballs back on the whole project more quickly as well. Yeah.
And for people who can, it's just mentally hard, especially if they've already lost a bunch of money in the game.
Yep.
But if someone gets in right now, you're not too far off the floor. So it's just a great time to get back in, even if it's a tiny little bit. But when the people will really come flying back in is when the PvP product is dynamite.
Yeah.
That's it all kind of hinges on that, I would say.
You don't think that a lot of people would be interested in doing hero summoning and trying to match up these different pairs? Because, that's actually something that's bringing my sister in. So I started talking to my sister about DeFi King. I mentioned it to her a while back. She really wasn't very interested. But when I started talking about the new thing about being able to summon these heroes and doing the matching pairs with the advanced abilities, like the advanced active 1, active 2, and so on, and I showed her, I did a quick little overview of how to pair those up. That in itself is what got her interested. And then, of course, the money-making aspect of being able to buy these heroes. But she really got excited about being able to try to customize or breed, like a breeding program where where she can try for very specific attributes. That type of thing was her game. So she was like, oh, that sounds like a fun game. Just that, right?
And I agree. I love it. So I totally agree there. And we still have a lot of the faithfuls around, but that gets old after time because the very purpose of trying to get those elite and transcendent abilities is for PvP. That's like ultimately what we're all waiting for.
Not necessarily if your goal is to be a breeder that just provides these to the players, right?
Well, sure. Oh yeah. But if PvP fails, then all of that breaks down,
that could be true, except remember, being a blockchain game, any one of us or another group of developers even could team up and create a whole other game based on all of this stuff as well. So again, I don't necessarily think that we need to even rely on what the DFK dev team, even though I think they're going to have a phenomenal product, I don't think that we need to put all our eggs in that one basket.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have to go.
I do too.
Okay, my kids. I forgot to. Time just gets away.
All right, dude.
Oh man.
I agree. Let's wrap it up here. I got to go also. Great having you
Okay.
on. I will hop onto one of your streams soon. Let's do it.
Hey, I love you. I'm already late, but yeah. So my last response to that last thing you just said, yeah, we just need an actual game to take where there's real use for the heroes in some sort, whether or not it's DeFi Kingdoms PvP or some other developed third-party PvP game, like Arena too.
Yeah,
I would love to get more into that one, things like that, because I know they're still grinding, like the Arena team's still going.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes, that otherwise everything breaks down, and that's what's kind of happened with a lot of the people that have been in this game for a year now. They've been waiting for this PvP, quote unquote, to come out.
Yeah.
But all this crap happened. And so, they've already summoned a million times. They're tired of doing all that. They're ready for and that's why part of the reason why, like, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing to me that the market cap of Jewel is $17 million. Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's so grossly oversold. It just blows my mind that it's even, and it even got below that at one point. Okay.
All right. You're out.
I love you.
I love you too, man.
Run, my kids. Yes. I'm like 20 minutes late already.
Go for it, man. Go for it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, for my audience here, I do want to wrap it up as well. I've got something that I was supposed to start at 5 o'clock, so I'm not quite 20 minutes late, but I am a little bit late. So thanks for sticking around. Let me answer a few questions that I saw in chat, and I really apologize. Normally, I like to be a little bit more on top of answering chat questions. It's a little bit harder when we've got a guest on and we're on a roll with something, especially somebody like Crypto Grady, who's so excited about everything. And we just, I guess with his personality in mind, we just talk back to back to back to back, and not really any time to jump in and, address chat. But here, Boss Breedveld, if you were still in chat, or if you look back at this later, you're saying, hey guys, what's the best option at the moment to get funds in or out of Crystal Vale with Serendale shutting down? So when you're saying in or out of Crystal Vale, are you talking about just into DFK environment altogether? I mean, because you could bring USDC token, you could buy USDC on almost any exchange, or even maybe Bitcoin, or the Avalanche's token, Avox, into anywhere, kind of use the bridge, even in-game, the in-game bridge, to bridge over from some other chain into this, and then, of course, use the trader to trade USDC tokens for whatever, right, and actually get it into the game. So that's what I've done myself. Is, I don't know if I have it in this account right here. Love you too, Crypto Grady. Don't be late. Don't be any more late. But USDC value right here. This is not an account where I've got any USDC value. This is a bot account. But, and then just convert it into your tokens and do your stuff. But you can get USDC anywhere. You can get a Vox and some other stuff. So I would say that's one way to get it into Crystal Vale. If you're just talking about moving between Serendale and Crystal Vale in general, I would say you should probably move things out of Serendale. We don't really know how long Serendale going to be on Harmony. Crypto Grady saying we could talk for hours. Yeah, we could, man, and I would be happy to do that with you at some time too. I hope you are on your way out the door and not sitting in front of a computer still talking to me, but yeah, we could just talk forever. Let's see. So if that's what you're talking about, Boz Breedveld, I would say those are some ways to get it in and out. And of course, you can still use the bridge, right? So if you go over to Serendale, and I can click over there for you right now, even on the Harmony blockchain, there's still a Serendale outpost over here, and you should be able to go to the Dockmaster where you have bridge heroes and tokens and pets and all this kind of stuff. You should be able to bridge all those items. And then, of course, just bridging your inventory, clicking on an inventory item, should be able to click on it and say bridge items as well. So that would be a way to get your items in and out. The outpost is going to remain up for, they quoted, as long as possible, is what the dev team says. My speculation is that the dev team is okay leaving this little interface up for, like they said, an indefinite amount of time. It's just a matter of, is the Harmony blockchain going to survive the next 6 months or not? Because there are some people that are saying Harmony is doomed, and especially now that DFK has left it or is leaving it, then it might be really challenged for the Harmony blockchain as a project to continue on. So as far as other options of what you might mean by what's the best option for getting funds in or out of Crystal Vale, I think I've addressed any of that. If not, then feel free to ask the question again. Let's see, famous Jameis is here. Let's see what you have to say. Hello, hi there, welcome into the chat. I think this is the first time I've seen you in chat, so welcome on in. You also say Fu was a good promoter on Twitter back in the early day, and I don't even remember who Fu might be. Would be good to get him to mention it again, maybe with PvP. Absolutely. So that is something that we could look into. Maybe some old promoters and all this kind of stuff, get them back incentivized a little bit. Maybe it's going to be people like myself and Crypto Grady and Sergeant Filthy McNasty, Intergrove, and a bunch of these other people that are still doing it, that maybe we will inspire some of the older content creators to come back into the space as well, that they see there is still content being made and there is an audience here. But that is something that I would like to see. Some of those YouTubers are needing a certain amount of viewership to stay motivated to a project, right? And if they're not making a certain amount of money, or if they don't have a certain amount of followers, they might move on to a different thing. I remember on Twitch, when I still do stream on Twitch in the mornings, but I remember that when I was looking into a little bit more of that, there were certain Twitch streamers, and I'm sure this is the same for YouTube, that if there isn't a big audience, or an audience leaves a community, like a specific video game or some kind of content, then the streamer will pack up shop and move themselves to a different content as well, right? Because it's, for some people, it's about making money, whatever content they need to be streaming. And so for channels like Crypto Grady, myself, and some of these others, if we've just got 1 or 2 viewers sitting in chat, they might not be very anxious to jump back in to stream something with 1 or 2. But if we can do things to maybe rally the team together and get more viewers, that might be enough to bring back some of these other larger content creators as well, which might get the project looked at by more eyeballs, which might be bringing more players into the game, and it's just this big snowball effect, right? So that could be something as well to think about. Potato says, imagine all the balancing needed for so many abilities. Team had already said to expect many nerfs and buffs in the beginning. Yeah, and I remember what we were talking about, a little bit of this. Potatoes, I'm not sure if you're still here or not either, because that was about an hour ago when you mentioned that. But I think we were talking about the fact that I was kind of interested in having a smaller game more quickly, and Crypto Grady came back and was mentioning you know, some pros and cons for that as well. And yes, so there is a big balancing act needed for the larger number of abilities, which goes to at my point is, or one of my points was, introducing a smaller number of abilities at the beginning could have been good, or at least get the, you know, it would take less balancing, less time, less energy would need to balance, you know, 10 abilities or 5 abilities each, as opposed to 20 abilities each or something. But then, of course, it might take longer to add new abilities because you're balancing, but you'd have to take that time anyway, right? And as we see here with DFK Fight Club, they're nerfing and rebalancing themselves, and I don't think anyone is really complaining about that too much with them having to take some time and rebalance. We just love the fact that we can play NFT or DFK Fight Club right now. Imagine if they didn't release it until everything was perfect, and we wouldn't have any game right now. So I can definitely see a positive and a negative for both of those sides. Certainly if you are having to rebalance and repolish, some people might not like that. If they're building up to a certain type of hero and then it gets nerfed or rebalanced, and like, oh man, I just spent all this time or energy to try to get this certain type of hero with this ability, and now you've just nerfed them, and so on. That can be a little frustrating. In fact, that was one of my small frustrations with Sandbox, is that things were changing, but at the same time, we've got to keep in mind that that's just part of the nature of NFT gaming, at least at the moment, and release early and release often mentality. And that's even true with open source, is that sometimes things are going to change and you got to be, ready to go with the flow on that kind of stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I do have to run. Thanks guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. We are going to do this again. Crypto Grady does a lot of good streams. Make sure that you catch him whenever possible. I myself do a stream in the morning hours. So I'm US Central Time. So this is kind of the evening, afternoon, early evening time for me. I do streams on Twitch in the morning. And in fact, I need to set up a little thing. I think if you type !Discord in chat now, you should be able to see a reply back here. I'll do it for now, and then I think there's a cool off period, but it shows the Discord that we have. Eventually I want to get something where you can type in !Twitch to see my Twitch stream, but let me just copy and paste that until I get that created. So if y'all want to follow me on Twitch so you can see when those streams are, they're going to be in about 16 hours from now. I don't know what time zone y'all are in. 16 hours from now is about 9 a.m. US Central Time. And then at 2 p.m. Central Time is when I'll be doing another YouTube stream. So morning streams for Twitch, afternoon streams for YouTube. And until then, guys, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Yep, thanks to see y'all. Nobel, Famous Jameis is here. 9A, 7A stuck around with us as well. Crypto Grady might still be lurking in the house. Hopefully he doesn't say anything or reply back, as hopefully you're driving and taking care of the kids. Potatoes could be here. Thanks for stopping by. Baz Breedveld, thanks for being here as well. Am I missing Carol Sterling? Thanks for being here also. And anybody else who is hanging out with us today, that might be it. We had a pretty good turnout today. So thanks for being here. Until then, made it, picked up the kiddos. All right. Woo! Yay for kids. Until then, rock out.